I was chatting in our Twitch chat room yesterday with a listener who said, man, I am so glad that I got a brand new roof from Secured Roofing and Solar, but I did it right before this big hurricane hit. Like, I don't know
so
what
if there's not a bunch of leaks or, if the wind does blow off old shingles. I think that happened to Seth, where his roof, got the leak and then his ceiling caved in. And with older roofs, they're just offer you less protection. And also, with all the storms and everything happening, if you don't know you have damage, you should definitely call or go on securedroofingandsolar.com. They'll give you a free inspection. They'll come out and inspect your roof and tell you, they'll be like, it's either all good or there's damage, and those leaks could cause your ceiling to cave in, like Seth's.
Well, we're going to get more storms, and for those of you that might be new, that have moved into Florida, that were listeners of ours, that you're new here, and you're like, okay, I can handle this. Understand that this is a wet place. So if you have some damage up there, even just a severe thunderstorm in this area, like I've had severe thunderstorms that are worse than what I got during the hurricane, is my point.
Yeah.
So, and don't get up there yourself. They do emergency tarping. I would imagine you don't need that now because you probably already did it. But if you do, you can always, go to Secured's website, fill out the form, get somebody. We actually have a person for you to contact, and it's the owner's son. And it's just an easier way for us to do things. We've got Mike Stacks with cars. We've got J.C. Harrelson when it comes to trucks. But when it comes to roofs, and if it sounds like I'm stretching, I am, because Tom's pulling up the number. I'm doing like this. We're live TV, and they're like,
I was about to say, why you just let me go to
the owner's son. His name is Jake, right? Isn't it Jake?
Yeah, it is Jake.
And the number is...
Yeah, I got it.
Here it is.
Hold
the
on.
number's coming in hot.
Yeah. 407... 403-8038. There was no edits on that. We're pros. Do it live. It is Jake.
It is Jake. Oh, we got it right.
Anyway, text that number, call him. He'll know you're a Tom and Dan listener. Also, ask him about solar. They're offering that now. It's securedroofingandsolar.com.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time.
So,
I'm going to be honest, I thought you guys started without me. I thought that last 5 minutes was on the show.
That's why you were running in.
I was going all out.
Yeah. You're good.
Well, and Ross was talking about the we record this all on Twitch, so if you do want to listen, you can listen to audio only on if you get the Twitch app.
Yep.
You can go hear that highly controversial statement I just made 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, you can also watch us on YouTube. Just search Tom and Dan Live, or search us on Twitch, Tom and Dan Live, for replays there as well.
Yeah. So Daniel showed me this video of this fishing tournament, and basically this guy was cheating by stuffing what looks like lead sinkers into the fish he caught, and then
it was a walleye, Lake Erie walleye tournament.
And a guy then confronted him and was videotaping the whole time as they pulled the lead sinkers out.
It's aggressive, dude. Like, this is going to make you uncomfortable.
So we're talking about Pennsylvania rednecks right here. Yeah. And let me tell you, that's a special kind of redneck.
Yeah.
They get angry. They are armed. There's a lot.
Cold rednecks are more angry.
Oh, you're right. A flip-flop redneck, a little happier.
Well, the warmer the redneck gets, the more party he gets. It's just more about the party and horny.
Pennsylvania redneck, let me explain to you. Imagine your favorite local southern redneck that you know.
Yeah.
Now imagine that his grandfather and his father were alcoholic iron workers who got laid off and had nothing to do during his childhood. They grow up hard and tough.
Then it's cold. Dude, it's cold as balls all the time. All right.
So this is Walleye Tournament Cheaters Got Busted. You can find this on YouTube. I'm just going to give you a little piece of it here. We will have to edit this, so just be mindful of what we got to edit here. Here we go.
We got weights and fish. There we go.
All right, hold on. We can't even play it.
They're losing it.
Wow.
We got weights and fish. Mother effer.
So just
and he does the umpire, get out of here.
Yeah.
So what?
We got weights and fish.
There was so many
that is really fun to scream.
So basically,
we'll just blanket that piece out. We'll just blanket it out.
So basically, there's a bunch of fishermen standing around. Now these guys look like they're serious because they got the stereotypical fishermen jerseys on with all their sponsors.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? They're kind of like motocross jerseys.
I mean no disrespect to our fishing members. We also have one on the line. I mean no disrespect to you, sir. But fisherman jerseys and professional bowling jerseys are the same jerseys. They're the same jerseys, right? They're the sublimated dry fit.
Yeah.
Sublimated dry fit.
These guys put their name on the back like there's some kind of fish umpire out there that's going to have to call them out.
Please tell me they have like fish nicknames on the back.
Oh, absolutely. But I think these guys are rivals. Now, wait, I think I got to a part that we can play, hopefully. Sam, again, be mindful here. I think this is the part where you get the close-up. Everybody gathers around. This is from a different angle.
All right.
And here's a little...
Listen to me right now. Everybody listen to me right now. Jake, I want you to leave. I don't want anybody to touch these guys. I want you to leave. He needs to go to jail. Jason, you should come here. Call the cops.
Jason, we got to file police.
Oh, my God. Just tons of them.
Oh, yeah.
Look at these weights.
Every fish.
Where's your crown now? Somebody else. Did you hear that one?
Hell, yeah.
Where's your crown now, Princess Diana?
In the CNN article about this,
Oh, my God.
they're mad, and the crowd is saying, like, this is a family event. As they're all cussing this guy out, saying they're going to beat his ass.
Yeah, well, you know.
You got to teach your kids how to handle fish
time
fakers.
away from our family.
So it's funny that they're screaming, "Call the cops!" Because we're all looking at this. We're like, "There's leads and like lead weight in a fish."
Yeah, what is
This is like a plot line on the Andy Griffith show, right?
Yes.
Like, it's like what happens on Andy Griffith.
So
Aunt B's like, check that fish.
that seems awfully heavy, Andy.
We talked to a BDM on a Weird Job Wednesday that fished in these tournaments locally, and I
what did you get charged with?
Well,
Thank you for lining this up, dude.
So, Chris, are you there?
Yes, sir, I am. How you doing today?
Good.
Man, first of all, I got to apologize to you. I when you said this happens, I think I said that you're full of crap, and I'm sorry. You're right.
So when on the Weird Job, we talked to Chris about people cheating and like people putting weights in fish.
I just can't imagine people. These guys were stuffing fillets in there. They were cutting up smaller fish, and if the lead weight, they pull the lead weight out. They were also sticking fillets, and they're sticking anything they could find. They'd stick a damn Sunny Delight bottle in there if they had one.
So Chris,
That's
first,
a great idea. You just put more fish in the fish. How are they going to tell?
It's natural. They were doing it, Ross.
Yeah, but they're also like these guys know fish, and they're like, "Hey, there's extra fish stuffed in here."
Oh crap! Your
Oops,
fish,
all fish.
Your fish came with extra fillets that are pre-cut.
I'll fight that one all the way to the Supreme Court. Oh, you found fish in my fish? Get out of here.
Or you put more of what the fish naturally eats.
Right.
Stuff his belly full.
Yeah.
It's like, look, it ate 800
Oh,
shrimp.
we're no better than those guys if we're just going to sit around and do this.
So, Chris, Ross brought up a good point because Ross's point was he was pulling multiple lead weights out of this one fish.
It was too much.
And Ross watched the extended video, and he heard the host, the announcer at the fishing tournament, predicting what the weight of the fish was going to be. So he's
anytime somebody came up on stage, this guy knew within half a pound what the fish weighed already. The MC of the event.
Yeah. So all these guys know fish, and they know, like, all right, you got a 17-inch whatever. What kind of fish was this? Whatever the fish was.
These are walleyes, Tom.
A 17-inch walleye weighs about 3.5 pounds, and when it weighs in on 6 pounds, it seems like a dead giveaway. That you're cheating. So, Chris, how stupid are these guys to add so much weight? And did you watch the video?
Oh, yeah, I've seen the video. It's blowing up everywhere. Fishing groups, people, it's meme crazy already. Guys are photoshopping their catches with just nothing but lead weights that they're holding up at the weigh.
It's big in the fishing community.
Yeah, with those guys, they just got greedy. So I talked, that was up somewhere up towards the Great Lakes. I actually don't even think, I think it was in a river system south of the Great Lakes that they were fishing in. But I guess these guys had been busted for this before, and going back to beating a polygraph test, I will admit I was wrong too, and you guys were right. They beat a polygraph test for it last year, and their lawyer got them off. So these guys have been on the radar for cheating for years now.
Oh, man, I love this scandal.
This is such a great story, dude. Now we got to see a documentary to walk it back a little bit because I didn't get enough. After I watched this, I was like, well, I want to know the history. And is it true that they are rival fishing teams? And because one guy in here in the video, he says, I got you on video. And then the other guy gave a little backstory about how in the public eye, they had been like basically bashing each other. And one guy actually got, I guess, a restraining order against the other guy. Is that true?
I actually haven't heard about the restraining order, but I do know that this has been going on with these two particular guys. I don't have anything to do with walleye fishing, and I knew the names of these guys. So they're big-time guys. You know, they're sponsored. You know, they get boats every year, trucks every year.
The audacity.
All the time. I mean, this is top-tier guys. I mean, I still, again, feel weird saying top-tier athletes, but they are the top of that walleye fishing.
What's funny, too, is the freeze frame that I have on the video right now is the guy in question. I forget the guy's name. And the guy's saying, I got your video. Do you have anything to say? This is the part that Tom hated because he's like, do you have anything to say? Are you going to say anything? And the guy's just standing there, which I don't know how that guy has the balls just to stand there without sticking his hands in his pockets and Forrest Gump running out of there. Like,
if I'm that guy, Jake, the second he says we got lead weights, I am turning and running. I'm gone.
But this guy just stood there.
He stood there.
But I feel like he should. He is taking the abuse. Also, I'd like to point out that his jersey, and this is the sad part, and it also makes me uncomfortable, it says Masters Walleye Circuit. Yeah, this guy is like top tier. This is like the Winston Cup. They don't do that anymore. What's it called now? I forget. I'm showing my age. But this is the end of the line for walleye fishing. This is the guys that make the Hundo 1,000, right?
Well, yeah, before we talk about the criminal aspect of this, because I started, we laughed when someone said call the cops, but then I started thinking about, like, they are technically defraud. Like, there's money. All these people paid, and there's huge prize money.
Do you know what their prize would have been? Unless I'm wrong, it was $25K right on the top.
Yeah.
$25K.
It was
29.
45,000.
40.
CNN says
45,000
29
for that particular one.
Jesus Christ, 50 grand. Dude.
So, Chris, have you ever seen the law enforcement get involved with cheating? Because it does seem like it's stealing a little bit.
Try fishing without a license. And
That's true. They are hardcore about it.
Right, they're writing a whole new bit.
Although
fishing bits are great around here.
Cheating in a tournament, money tournament, it doesn't seem illegal.
Yeah, but everybody else is invested. Like, if I bought bait, if I took time off of work, if I've invested to play that and I never had a shot.
Yeah, but it seems like the cops, if you did call them, they'd be like, listen, work this out with you. You know, it's like, I'm not that, whatever.
Right, you're right.
You know,
we got bigger things than that. We got kids out there that are being sexualized.
They didn't do anything illegal, but I guess you could sue them.
That's enough money for a felony, right?
It's definitely illegal.
Yeah.
There's quite a few states that have actually, it's a criminal law. Louisiana is very strict on it. They'll take you straight to jail. They'll take your boat, your truck, all your gear.
What's the charge?
In your possession that they catch you with, they seize all of it. And it's
flim
like
flam.
They
charge it with grade A. It's a grade A felony flim flam. Louisiana flim flam.
I do believe
it's a Louisiana fishing flim flam.
Yeah, they did. I'm sorry, we're going to take him downtown. He's getting a felony. It's a class 1 felony Louisiana flim flam.
I think they take him to the precinct in an airboat.
Yeah, he's got him.
What is the charge, though?
Because got a great question. What's the charge?
This is a private fishing
tournament. But it's going to be one of those weird ones where they're like, it's defrauding an innkeeper. All the weird stuff goes to defrauding an innkeeper.
Because if I was like cheating at a card room and they would just kick me out, like if you're counting cards in Vegas, they just trespass you. It's not illegal. Like, you can't call the cops. They can only trespass you. So what is the charge?
I don't exactly know what the charge is. I know there's different ones that they can get you with, but it's almost like a fraud.
Yeah, it doesn't have to be a specific fish-related fraud. It's just fraud. You're representing this fish to weigh a certain amount when you've doctored it to weigh more than that to win money in a contest. It's fraud.
And it could also come back to all the documentation that you signed to enter the tournament. Remember, that's some sort of a contract, right? Not to play lawyer, but I'm going to guess that all these other people that have their money, right, because you have to pay to be in this tournament, they can use all of that against you. It's like, no, you said this was your affidavit. This was you saying that you absolutely are on the hook for everything we just busted you for. So now it's a crime.
I will present only undoctored fish. That's got to be on there,
Yeah, I bet you that's what they do.
So, Chris, Daniel brought up something too that we laughed at. They were stuffing.
I've been laughing all morning about this.
Where first, how
I love stuff like this.
How do you think they caught them, Chris? Because I don't know. Like the video only shows them like catching them, but how do you did they even know?
And it sounds like from the CNN article, it sounds like when they said the weight, everybody was like, "There's no way that
Samantha,
fish weighs that amount."
and I don't mean to call you Samantha, but I get serious.
That's my name.
But I mean normally I say Sam. But it got to one of those points. Then that means it got to one of those points where the guy said you had the standoff where the guy goes, "Well, cut my fish open then."
Well,
right,
no, the guy grabbed the fish and he said, I physically felt the fish and I could feel hard objects inside the fish.
Yeah, but still, how do you get to the point where,
cut her open.
And then oh, God.
Well, this all happens in a square footage of 200 square feet. Like, when they cut that fish open, they're right off the stage where they're doing the weigh-ins and the emceeing and everything.
And by the way, the only crowd that's there are the actual fishermen.
Right.
No one actually...
And their families.
Yeah. But their families, they don't want to be their sons are out there playing by the truck. Their wife is mad sitting on the damn
Don't drop
cab.
Daddy's coasters. He spent a lot of money at those coasters.
If you watch the whole video, though, I watched a bunch of weigh-ins for whatever reason.
Ross. Ross is the only one that watches tournament fishing weigh-ins.
Well, this is my first time, but I'm very interested now. So I watched a lot of the weigh-ins on this, and where was I going with this? For the majority of the event, there's nobody there. There's the guy getting his fish waved and his wife watching. And it seems like they maybe saved these guys for the end, or whenever these guys got up, word kind of spread and the crowd gathered.
We're going to get him today.
Lynch these guys.
It ends today. Yeah. Jeremiah, it ends today. I love those.
I imagine some guy kissing a fish and going, "I'm going to justice for you."
How do you slip it in there? How do you put the weights in? Or you just do it while you're out there in the field fishing?
Are you talking to Andrea?
Chris,
Yes.
What do they stuff them down the fish's mouth?
Yeah,
that's actually what me and a couple other guys have been talking about. We don't exactly know, because when they cut the belly of the fish open, a couple of the fish that they cut open, the weights are just there. They're not inside their stomach because I thought maybe they shoved them down their throat or something like that. But I'm not sure. It's really kind of got me thinking how they did it. I guess apparently I'm not as good at cheating as they are. But.
Well, I guess now they're claiming that these fish were raised with weights inside them. What? And then released into the actual river or lake, and then these guys, they just happened to catch the ones that were raised with weights. No, I made that up.
You should be a lawyer. You should be a lawyer.
That's the old, when they find weed in your pants, they're like, these are not my pants.
Not my pants. These are not my fish.
Some other tournaments that have had some cheating scandals, people were charged with bribery or threat to influence a contest, which is a third-degree felony.
Okay, there you go.
Huh. That's interesting.
Crazy.
So Chris, you've mentioned before that this does happen all the time. Are these guys going to be banned from any tournament in the future?
For sure. At least that one, for sure.
Yeah, they'll never fish a tournament again in their life unless it's in a different country.
Different country.
They're going to do like golf and go over and get that Saudi fish. The live.
The live bass tour.
The live bass tour. You get over these Saudi guys. They love it. We love the bitch.
There's bullets in here.
Imagine growing up in Pennsylvania and then you end your life getting your head cut off in a Saudi stadium because you cheated in a fishing tournament.
Yeah, that's true. You don't cheat. You don't cheat. No.
Not
different
over there,
laws.
dude.
Yeah, different punishments.
So, Chris, do you think I don't know if there's any record of are these people going to be stricken from the record books as far as if they, what I'm saying, in the past winnings, they'll put an asterisk next to it, kind of like they did with the steroids in baseball, where they caught a 20-pound whatever fish this was,
walleye,
back in 2005, but now we put an asterisk on it because it could have been a weight fish.
Yeah, because these guys were the biggest of the bigs, and then it gives validation to the other guys, and then these guys get run out of town. They've probably been waiting on this for a long time, I would imagine.
Oh yeah. Yeah, now they're talking about possibly a class action lawsuit. I'm not a lawyer. I catch fish. So, but, they're defrauding these guys for years. So I've heard anywhere from these guys have won $300,000 over the past few years all the way up to as high as $3 million. And now if they cheated once, they're assuming they've cheated every single time before this.
Right.
So there's a lot more money than what most people think that's going to be involved with this.
Yeah, that's the number I heard too, is $500,000.
So
I was like,
But it's all in Budweiser themed crap, right? Like,
I'll get back my Winston jacket. And here's my Dale Earnhardt hood, commemorative hood.
So, Chris, it seems like going
Got a
back
couple
to
Yeti coolers here.
our original weird job when I was coming up with different ways to cheat, because I've already thought of a bunch of different ways to cheat on these fishing tournaments that is harder, that you wouldn't get caught.
What you got to do is inject the fish with some sort of cement.
Okay,
Like a mercury. You got to inject the fish with a liquid mercury type of supplement or something that will
while it's alive,
yeah.
so its bloodstream disperses it.
Yeah.
So it's just because I mean, half a pound could make the difference in these tournaments, right? Like, how close does it get? Like ounces, right?
Oh yeah, within ounces. I've lost a tournament by 1 ounce before.
you guys aren't thinking. Think about it. You need something to increase the weight that is undetectable. What you do is, right before you get on stage, you grab your fish, you pop its little mouth open, a couple pieces of ice in there. Chuck some ice in there.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, that fish weighs. Oh, this weighs too much. Okay, go cut it open next to the side of the stage. What are you gonna find? Water.
We got ice in here.
Yeah, let me put it under my arm first before you cut it open. Hold on.
It's funny that you talked about because the person that sent us the story, their opening was, here's a business idea for Tom. If Tom can look at something through a cheating lens, cheating will happen. Giant corporations can hire Tom. They learn from their flaws. Bigger profits, smaller losses. Tom gets his cut. Win-win.
No, yeah, that's why I'm really good at
You're
cheating.
a cheating consultant.
You are a cheating consultant.
Corporate lawyers, and they exist. Yeah.
I feel like the easiest way to cheat on these fishing tournaments is just to grow a fish that is a massive fish in some other location, and somehow you would have to pretend to catch
a white
it.
man can't jump scenario. What I mean by that, the fish has got to be in on it. It's got to be your fish.
Can you just put them?
Woody Harrelson's your fish.
Can you scuba dive the lake, put them on some sort of string at the bottom of the lake at a GPS location, and then go and catch the fish?
I'm going to say that's happened. I'm going to say I've seen that article before.
I think to me that's better, because you don't want to be up there. The lead weight thing is just too. You know what it is? It's clumsy. It's too clumsy.
Oh, it's easy to get detected, too.
Absolutely. I mean, a magnet or something. A metal detector. You just run it over the fish.
The other thing I thought was, I don't know if you saw the method for weighing this, but I don't know if you've ever gotten weed before, Tom. They have this thing where you can set the scale to not measure the container,
Yes.
So
right.
they're bringing all their fish up in plastic milk crates, right? So doctor the milk crate, put some lead in the bottom of the milk crate. It weighs heavy, and then you go inspect my fish. I don't care.
I think the milk crate is from
consistent.
the tournament, and they hand it out.
You slap a weight on the bottom right before you weigh it, dude.
Yeah, a couple of those little balancing medals from a
Pinewood Derby,
a rim shop, or something. Yeah, the ones that balance out your wheels.
So, Chris, before this,
a ceiling fan weight,
because I imagine these guys are so competitive that they are all looking for possible cheaters everywhere. So they are inspecting every single, they are getting in your business. I don't.
Let me see in your boat. Let me look in your cooler.
Let me
look under your hat.
How competitive are these guys?
You're 100% correct, Dan. That's what they do before every tournament.
Really? They check it for weights and all this kind of stuff.
And fish that you have previously caught or whatever.
Joke's on you, fish and weights.
Your live well, storage components, everything. They check your boat bow to stern every time.
Do you think soon they'll add just some sort of camera that's always on your boat to make sure you're not, doing anything?
Oh, like police. That works great.
I'm just saying.
Yeah, we're so far so good with that.
That is I've actually suggested that for years now. Some of your top bass fishing tournament series, you actually, in the old days, if you guys had ever seen bass fishing before, you'd have your professional angler and then your co-angler, which is like a guy like me, that's just kind of coming up and stuff like that. Now what they do is you have the pro angler, and each boat gets a marshal.
Yeah.
And this guy's job is to, as soon as you catch the fish, they weigh it, write everything down, and immediately release the fish. It cuts back on any possibility for nonsense like this to happen.
Oh, to release them faster so you can't doctor the fish.
Oh, yeah. Well, that's when you get one of those judges in your pocket, and there's a bunch of other corruption.
Well, you gotta dig up some dirt on them. You gotta know. I know you cheat on your wife, Harvey. And you're my marshal today. So unless you want your life to go down straight down the Esser, you're gonna start weighing these fish a little heavier for old Danny D.
Yeah. I know about your back surgery and your OxyContin addiction.
I know that your daughter has an OnlyFans, and I know the church would be really upset to find out about all the little butt plugs she's using. So unless you want that URL leaked, Harvey, you'll start weighing my fish right.
Then they're looking the other way, or I'm getting my cheater fish. I've already just scuba dove down there.
Scuba dove.
I'm just saying. I have some line around its tail.
Well, I'm always
some mega
down there.
fish.
Why do you always make me scuba dove?
Daniel's down there.
I'm always down there.
He's putting the fish on my hook.
Because he knows that if they find me, I'll kill myself. I'll be like, I'm bored. Blow my head off in the water.
I'm like, bite your cyanide teeth.
That's all I have. Ross, did you only, I only have one regular tooth. Every other tooth's a cyanide tooth.
You can like,
so hard to eat corn.
Your friend bit his cyanide tooth for a glitter bass boat?
He's fizzing and floating down the river.
He killed himself for a glitter bass boat?
Why is he wearing a neon green wetsuit?
By the way, in this scenario, you bought off the marshal, so you don't need to do any of this.
So
it's pointless.
Chris, last thing, because I noticed in this video that all the New Age fishermen now in these tournaments.
New Age fishermen, they got crystals all over their boats.
I'm just saying, it used to
long hair.
It used to be where you had your standard Columbia shirt, right, and then some patches of your sponsors.
Oh, now they got the supplementation.
Now they've gone to supplemented motocross jerseys. Seriously, and like it looks like a motocross jersey with their name on the back.
Oh yeah,
and all their sponsors, American flags, everything fully printed, like down to like who are you printing on the bottom right? And so the whole thing, but it's
I got sponsor room on my love handle.
Like what happened to the button down Columbia shirt? Why did you go to supplemented motocross jersey?
I don't know. You're hurting my feelings because I'm currently having my jerseys made. But
hold on. Can we talk?
Well, that's what I do. I love hurting people's feelings.
Can we talk about your jerseys? How much Monster Energy slime is on your jersey? Because you got to have a lot of American flags and a lot of Monster Energy slime and aggressive lettering. You got to look like Metal Militia if it only had 4 teeth.
Listen, if Monster wants to pay me, I will dress as one large green M out on the bow of my boat.
Okay.
Also, why put the American flag? Are they paying you? Like, I know the government isn't, so it's like
they're taxing.
Yeah, exactly. Like, if anything, only put the sponsors that are paying you.
Yeah, of course.
I think they do the American flag because a Trump logo wouldn't fly very well on TV for them. So
that's true.
Yeah, because he is.
God damn it!
I'm sure. Hold on.
You wanted that answer.
There's not one pro fishing guy that has a big Trump jersey. I'm sure there is, right?
There's got to be. If not, he's missing a heck of a big market.
100% there is.
Are we sure Tom hasn't been replaced by an alien? Because here's an opportunity to waste money on a stupid sponsorship, and Tom hasn't even offered yet. I don't.
Well, we want him to cheat.
I'm glad you mentioned that, Ross.
Well, Ross, we want him to put weights in his fish, and he just doesn't cut the jib. This guy's too straight.
I already threw out all my Tom and Dan co-magnet lead weights after this happened. They foiled my plan.
Yeah, I mean, this is too risky now. Plus, there's or is this like flying after a plane crash? Maybe this is the best time to cheat.
No, I think everybody's going to be looking for it now, because they want to be in the video that goes viral of catching the guy. People get off on that. Like this
fish star.
Yeah, one guy at the beginning that's like, yeah. By the way, like literally yelling louder than his kid's graduation or when his daughter was born.
This is where me and Ross are on the opposite end of the spectrum because I can't even watch this video. I recoil like
so uncomfortable.
If I was there and if I was
just leave.
I would just slowly walk back into my truck because even if it wasn't me,
if you were just there and brought your kids there, you're drinking a coffee, you would have walked away.
It's too awkward to be them screaming at the guy like, what do you have to say? And but Ross though on the other side,
Ross
you
should
love
be yelling at the guy. Right?
Ross
it's always when someone says, "What do you have to say?" No one ever has anything to say for themselves. So just stop asking them. They're not going to say it.
Yeah.
I was was fascinated by how this guy was emceeing the fishing tournament because it was like, I don't know, it was an hour of a weigh-in, and this guy just was going the whole time. It was pretty amazing.
It's like the guys that do, and we're going to talk to Jetson. It's like the guys that do all of the Iron Man, the announcers for Iron Man.
Yeah.
They're so good at it, although he did mess up Jetson's last name. But like they're so good at it, they riff, and they got to like say like 1,000 people's names.
They got to keep going.
And they're really, really good at it.
Yeah.
And those are some of the hardest things too. I'm sure. I mean, I'm sure there's one. This fishing tournament guy. He's also does AM sports locally. You know what I'm saying? There's one broadcaster.
It's like his favorite thing. He's really into it.
Yeah, he started this kind of like Sofa and Suds, and we'll be doing that 20 years from now. We'll be the old men doing Sofa and Suds.
I wish people would cheat on Sofa and Suds. Let's get some lead weights.
So
people have definitely questioned whether or not people have cheated.
I want some.
They get really competitive too.
I feel like we need to make this year let's make it super modified. Let's just make
put a motor on that thing.
Yeah, just anything goes because it's going to be. I'm just throwing it out there a little boring.
So Chris, when's your next fishing tournament?
I actually don't have much planned for the rest of the year. Kind of taking it easy, building up YouTube. Next year, I am actually going to be doing some pretty higher up tournaments. But one thing I wanted to ask is I think it was Dustin when he was in last time mentioned that they're doing a tournament in Sanford in like January, I think.
Yeah.
How about I am the official Tom and Dan boat for the tournament?
Oh, I like that
we
idea.
can do that.
Yeah, we need a boat in the tournament.
What does that cost us?
One Tom and Dan flag.
Well, yeah, Tom and Dan flag would be cool, but it's a free tournament, I believe, if I remember correctly what Dustin said, and it's for Yellow Brick Road, so I would be more than happy just to represent you guys. I don't want anything.
Man.
It's for the kids.
Oh, that's the tournament to cheat in. They're not.
Yeah, that is the one to cheat on. I was going to say, if there was one to cheat, it's the one that helps the kids.
Yeah.
Chris, last question. Does all this water help or hurt fishing?
Fish hate water, dude.
No.
They are so
I'm saying with the overflooded lakes, like now it changes the topography of the lake, but it's
chemical composition.
Yeah, it's dangerous to fish.
With all the drain water, like does this like?
And again, just raw feces.
The feces and the poop. How does this? What does this do for fishing?
It's bad. I mean, I think, Dan, you shared Brendan O'Connor's story about the sewage plants overflowing. All that water has to go somewhere. So those are going in your local lakes and ponds. Lake Toho right now is real bad. Apparently, the flooding there pushed a lot of sewage runoff into the lake. So you're going to have it's going to be problems for a few months now before all these fisheries kind of get back to normal in that area.
I feel like fish would like doo-doo, though.
Yeah, I feel like
if you pour doo-doo in a lake, I feel like fish would eat it. They'll eat anything.
I am confident that if you put a fish in my toilet in the morning, that he's going to chomp his face off. He's a lot to eat there.
But I guess with that
they're
comes
also breathing it, though.
All
it's going
the
in through
chemicals.
the gills.
All the chemicals.
They maybe stop smoking.
And then,
I
so
don't know what that means.
Is this basically going to affect fishing for the next couple months? When does it? Because I know like St. John's River continues to rise as all the floodwater, makes its way into the ocean. So, like, how long are we looking at before things get relatively back to normal?
I would say just with the water being high, about a month or so, it should start. Water tables should be getting back to normal, but as far as some of the other stuff that's been introduced into the lakes, I mean, that's hard to tell. I mean, it could be the 6 months, it could be a year, it could be even shorter than that. I'm praying it's shorter than that, but it's not looking good right now.
Yeah, it's all these other ancillary things that you don't think about, that everything is a chain reaction, affects everything, right?
Everything's bigger than we think.
Well, Chris, thanks for talking to us today. It's a fascinating story about this cheating. It's weird, like fish tournaments and chess.
I just
the two hottest cheating scandals going on right now.
Stuff getting stuffed in
There
both
was a poker
ways.
cheating scandal this weekend, too.
Yeah, there was a poker one this weekend, too.
Oh, I saw that.
Yeah. I was like actually gearing up for one of your favorite things to talk about is cheating, and I'm like, dude, I have always said, like you and I have argued, Tom and I have argued, and I've always said people cheat less than we think, and I think you're right. I think they cheat more. I think I'm way wrong.
But I don't understand. Chris, we'll talk to you soon because I want to talk about this poker tournament that Daniel did send me this video. Speaking of cheating, there was a poker tournament, the huge cash prize.
Yeah.
And I think was it the final table?
I didn't. I'm going to have to look it up. Sam, if you can find it.
Yeah,
I don't want to get it wrong.
So what the weird part, I don't understand why they turned to river cards because I watched the video.
Was everybody flopped?
No, but they actually in the video, and I only watched it one time, so I may be mistaken. But they turned a river card, and then they turned another river card. But regardless, basically, how just to make a long story short, a guy went all in, basically against his opponent, which is this girl. And she called him with nothing. And so we in these poker, in like these televised poker tournaments, you see what the players have. So the announcer was like talking about it, and then when
it was all, you could see it all there.
And in the position they were in, he was bluffing. He was on a inside straight draw and a flush, right? So he had a higher percentage chance of getting either one of the inside straight draw or a flush. She just had, I believe, like a jack 4 or something. She had nothing, right? So then when in his position, he eventually just went all in, and with nothing, she called. And then they flopped their cards over, and then she ended up winning the pot,
right?
And of just jack high, right? So he didn't get his flush or his inside straight draw, and she actually won the pot. But he was like, "Why did you call?" Even if you thought I had nothing,
because I was playing poker.
True, that's what she said. But her explanation was bizarre, and that's where the cheating scandal comes from.
So they agreed to play the river twice, but it brought nothing to either side, and Lou won the full $269,000 pot with jack high. It sparked commotion at the table, with Aldstein saying, "I don't understand what's happening right now." After a brief exchange, Aldstein gave Lou what she called a death stare.
I never heard agreed to do the river twice.
I've never heard
I
that.
don't even know what that means.
Well, the last card
it's like a playover. I didn't even think you could do that.
I didn't understand why that happened. That's what I was like. What is
weird.
That? I've never seen that.
I was like, you struck him out. Give him another pitch.
I've never seen the river twice. And
okay, I've got the breakdown here if you want me to walk you through it.
Yeah.
Okay, so Garrett Aldenstein, who is considered one of the best high-stakes cash game players in the world, has claimed that he was clearly cheated by his opponent, Robbie Jade Liu, after she went all in on an underwhelming hand. During the televised high-stake game at the Hustler Casino, Aldenstein had 7 and 8 of clubs, while Liu played wider with Jack of clubs and 4 of hearts. After the flop revealed the 10 of hearts, 10 of clubs, and 9 of clubs, Aldenstein bet high, given his chances of a straight, a flush, or even a straight flush on the river. But Liu stunned her opponents and the commentators when she called the bet, growing the pot to $269,000. Another opponent at the table laughed, saying, "She calls me with a jack high." She calls, the commentator in the live stream asked, and with complete surprise. What is going on here? Is it possible her hand might be misread in the card graphics?
Yeah, the commentator literally thought that...
He even questioned it.
Are we looking at the wrong cards?
Yeah, we look at the wrong cards.
Like, why would you do this?
So
what's the cheat, though?
So then no one knows, and the problem is
it was just such an outlandish play. He's assuming.
Jimmy used to say this to me all the time when I would go and play a cash game at Jimmy, because I don't know poker like he does. Sometimes I'd look at my hand, I want to get out of here. I'd go all in. Why are you doing that? Nobody would do that. You're not. There's a way to play it.
And regardless from that, these
but it's
people,
not against the rules.
No,
it isn't.
Certainly is not.
But these people aren't amateurs,
No,
and that's
this is the
where,
top tier.
that's where everybody's
sounds
talking.
like she outsmarted him.
Not really.
She won.
She played. She did win, but she
didn't do anything against the rules.
She didn't. But that's
so what
why.
What the hell are we talking about here? This isn't cheating.
Well, because
that's how an amateur person would answer a person who plays poker all the time about a poker person seemingly not winning against the person who didn't know what they had and went all in.
Yeah,
is it just like it's not against the rules, but it's kind of just frowned upon? Like
it's not even frowned upon. It's why
I am missing it.
It's more of like, why would you do it? Because
it would be a guaranteed loss. Right. Basically, it would be
she took a chance.
She lost on purpose, although she didn't have anything. So there was really no chance. So all she was maybe hoping for is a jack on the river, but you would never. It's people that know how to play poker would never go all in hoping to catch a jack on the river because their chances are so small, especially when someone else put them all in. That person obviously either totally bluffing or has a higher chance than you, or even has something that beat you currently.
Like in a baseball game, Sam, if the guy in left field just laid down and stretched out and just put his arms out on the ground, and the guy at bat hit a ball right into his glove.
Yeah.
He's caught the ball.
Correct.
He's made the out. He did nothing illegal. It looks weird though.
Yeah,
really
everybody's
weird.
like, how did that happen? Yeah, you know what?
And so
I approve that 100%.
Sounds like
So-
she just got really lucky.
it did. No, she did
She
get
did.
lucky.
She did.
And although
I love the story because Hustler Casino is investigating it, and they're saying, yo, other than just this guy getting mad, we can't say that she did anything
Right.
wrong. I mean,
And so the guy is
I wanna be
claiming
investigated
that
by Hustler.
She's
I know.
that she somehow knew his cards in some way, that she was tipped off or knew what kind of cards he has, because in that
this is obviously before the fish scandal, because they even say this latest scandal comes as investigators look into an incident during a chess tournament. Everybody's
Now,
But
freaking
if she
out.
knew his cards, she'd be less likely.
That's what I was
She-
thinking.
No, not necessarily, because at that time he didn't have anything. So if she knew his cards, she had a jack high, so she knows. All right, then there's a chance of a club hitting the board or one of the numbers or cards to make him a straight. Right, more than her chance of having a jack. But I think at that point in time she had the best hand. So the correct call, if she knew his cards, were to call them all in. So technically, if she knew his cards, she did make the correct call, because she at that point did have the highest hand. So it was just up to the river.
Then that's probably why he's saying she cheated, because he's probably like, she's got to know my cards.
Now, here's the weird thing, the same thing with the chess tournament thing, too. There is a feed, and there are people and producers that do see this live
People on
feed,
the
and
inside, yes.
so they know the cards. So if somehow she has someone inside the production team that is tipping off someone live at the actual, because there's an audience, that is somehow giving her, because you have a lot of time. She put in a time chip and stuff. That's another thing, too.
I'm assuming it's vibrator based at this time. Point.
Yeah, or vibrator based, like
Yeah.
the chess thing.
Mm-hmm.
And if someone's saying like, "Hey, two vibrates," and you call,
Yeah.
then she's just calling. So it could be like that, especially with televised tournaments. It's impossible to take that element away, right?
You know what's interesting?
It's super fascinating.
What makes this a little different than just cheating scandal and it just spiraled out of control? I don't think it spiraled out of control the day it happened. He issued an actual statement, and I think this is what made it a big deal.
Yeah.
Within the poker world, they're both a big deal, and he issued a full-blown statement from him saying, it's too lengthy to read, but he says he has been, quote, clearly cheated without providing evidence of any wrongdoing. He went on to speculate that Lou might have been wearing a vibrating device that was used to signal her, but he said that it was impossible to know. Then she said she denies everything and says, hey, if you want to go head-to-head for a rematch after I'm vindicated, let's go heads up. The whole world can watch me read you all day long. Like,
Oh, yeah.
It's like... yeah.
Okay, so she's saying she could tell by his face. She's saying she had some kind of tell on him where
Yeah, yeah.
She's just saying,
she knew.
I knew you didn't have nothing.
She's saying I knew your cards, but not by like seeing them
Correct.
or like a vibrator. I'm that good that I can look at you and tell
Yeah.
what you have.
Which is the best answer she has
Yeah,
right
yeah.
now.
Of course, because
Yeah.
it's impossible to tell that, but
You got to ride that to the
and
grave.
it
If you
also
watch-
fits the evidence.
if you watch the video, though, she says some bizarre things, because he was like, "Why did you call the first bet or whatever?" And she's like, "Oh," and she said she like misspoke a little bit, and it was weird because there was no technical explanation that she could say except for "I read you." And this guy's played a million hours of cards. Like there's no reading people's faces anymore in poker. It just doesn't happen. It's like your betting patterns and how you play. Like it's gotten such down to like a specific analytic science to it that that's
could be
all.
something as easy as like he taps his finger, or
No.
like so he could have a tell, Tom. He could very easily have a tell.
That's only in movies. The Oreo with the damn pay this man his money. That doesn't happen. Like no one's eating Oreos and he's like, he didn't take the top off. It doesn't happen anymore. These guys
I forgot
just
about
happen.
that.
I'm just saying, that's all I think movie BS. It's interesting
It
though.
is. I love the cheating stories.
Because now, especially with chess and poker and stuff, like you can't, they're live filming it, so that invites the element of cheating. With the live filming, there's always some way
Yeah,
now to
there's
cheat.
leaks now.
Because now
Yeah,
you
there's
can have
leaks.
other people telling you in some way, whether vibrating butt plug
And
or
there's a
whatever.
delay,
And
yeah.
That's how it happens. Like
But
that's how they're doing.
We
chess.
also live in a day and age where you could devote yourself to something so fully that you can excel at it to a point where you almost seem superhuman at it. And from like
That's
anything, from like cards to running to fishing, for God's sake, you could be so much better at it than everybody else that you almost seem like you're cheating just doing what you do.
Yes, but I feel like there's some of that, but you can't beat math at the end of the the day, and if you're statistically winning more than you should,
I beat math. I don't use it ever.
Well, it's probably if it's straight up against your chances that math say, then that's when everybody's like, wait a minute, why? Like, what's going on here? This is against math, and we know math is a fact.
Yeah.
So how is this person doing it? Most likely, it's nefarious, right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what you would say. I mean, she has no other answer other than I just.
And of course, you're going to say, "Play me heads up," because even if she loses, it's all like
wouldn't matter.
A lot of the heads up is is
listen.
is
You're a grown man playing poker, and you got beat by a lady, and your butt's hurt, and that's fine. But if you don't have any proof, you can't say she's cheating.
True.
If you have some proof, if you have a statement, if you have a witness, say it. That's great. But if you're just guessing, shut the hell up and move on to the next tournament.
I got to agree with you. I've always thought it's a really bad look, especially a release. And that's kind of where I was going with.
I can't lose. You must be cheating.
You're a baby. Get out of here.
That's kind of where I was going with the official statement thing, too, because it's like it's a bad look to present an official statement because people are like, okay, I came here for the official
with
statement.
no proof.
What do you have to say? And he's like, she cheated. And they're like, okay, well, what happened? None. I got nothing. Like, then you have no official statement.
Right.
But it's like the chess guy, like that he's like, wait a minute.
But he's been busted before. That one's
that
different.
guy admitted to cheating.
The only moves, the only reason you make these moves is if a computer was telling you, right? And like the only reason you make this call is if you were tipped off about my cards. And I can see his point. It was like, you're playing unlike any pro here. Right. Because without playing like a pro, you cannot win.
He took his money, too. He took his money and left. The money that she won.
See, I wouldn't have done that either. That's a bad look. Even if you thought she cheated, you can't do that. I don't think you can do that.
Well,
if you don't have any proof, you can't.
I don't know how you do it within the rules of the tournament. It's like
insane.
So I'm sure they'll
get to the bottom of it.
It's at least drama in something that normally doesn't have drama.
She's a good-looking lady too. Like so, the whole story. Like he's got. I mean, they're great-looking people for this particular story because he looks like Italian. Like, hey, you cheating, and she's got like the big fake boobs, and she's hot. You know, and you're like, it's great. It's awesome. You know, it's same thing with these fishing guys. They look awesome for the story. I'm like, man, you guys are all stereotyped out.
I thought it was weird that fisherman had big fake boobs.
It brings attention to
she said her call was based on past experiences with Adelstein, hinting that she's aware of his poker ranges were wide and that Jack High might have been the right call regardless. So she's played with this guy a lot. She knows how he plays.
And that's the best answer she can give. What a great answer if you did cheat, though. I know.
First, I know poker, and that just doesn't
You're
make
saying
sense.
exactly what Jimmy would say.
Yeah.
Like, people that know hands have a real problem if you don't adhere to the hands, because at that point you are flying in the face of math.
Now,
you are.
Do you think you're better at poker than her?
No.
Then why are you arguing with her?
Well, because she's not. Because there is a
but
right
she's saying
way to play.
I'm this good at poker, and I made this call, and you're worse than her at poker, and you're saying make the other call. So obviously she's right.
Not necessarily, because just getting lucky doesn't make you a good gambler.
See, Ron, look,
let's take a break. I'm gonna go have this argument with a brick wall. I feel like I do a lot better.
Get lucky.
Well, let me help.
You know what?
Maybe I can help. I have never understood why you would say this, and so does Jimmy. And I'll keep bringing up Jimmy because Jimmy would get so mad when I would play poker. I don't know poker as well as Jimmy, and I would go all in or do something.
And we're talking about Dirty Jimmy from Primetime Kitchen, right?
Primetime Kitchen, yeah. Where I shouldn't make that play, but then I end up winning, and then everybody at the table's mad. I've never understood why poker players get mad about that. They need to have a better answer than well, you played it wrong. No.
Well, yeah. But you play the way you play. If you're chasing. As you get lucky, you get lucky. It's just in this stakes where you're not playing amateur. So it's like it's weird.
I wanted to make my dirty.
It's weird.
I messed up my dirty Jim joke. Can I take a second swing at that?
Yeah, sure.
We're talking about Primetime Jimmy from Dirty Kitchen.
There you go.
That's
I like that better.
All right, Mo's Comedy Jam this Thursday. Ross will be there. We're all gonna go out there and
come on.
You got a ticket?
Yep.
Yeah,
we bought tickets a long time ago.
We got them. Yeah, unless
you're welcome then. You're welcome to come.
Yeah.
Now we bought the tickets.
Yeah,
we sprang for the hundo apiece.
It's a charity event. Buy your damn tickets.
Anyway,
MoComedyJam.com if you don't have yours.
It's Thursday. All right. Well, see you tomorrow.
Welcome back to A Cobra Time.
Yes. So I went.
This wasn't coming back, right?
Yes, it was.
See, I got it right, but everybody. I looked around and nobody gave me. I'm like a dog. Now I need people to look at me and go, "You did good." Thumbs up. Good boy. Yeah, good boy. Good boy.
So I was at our Airbnb over the weekend, and
I like that you're saying. I like that you're calling it an Airbnb now, and I'm telling you why. I think when we call it an Air T&D, people think that it's a effing joke. I'm being serious with this. It's not a joke. We actually have a place. I'm being serious.
Yeah.
This is a concept that I've been thinking of because it's awesome. Like our Airbnb is
the
awesome.
location is great.
It's great. But I think people think that when they get in there, you're going to get the novelty punch in the face. You go fartogram.
No.
It's like the spiders fall out of the ceiling.
Look at the reviews. Look at the reviews.
It's rad.
So I was there because the boys were taking a shower. Crystal wanted to take a hot shower because we didn't have power.
Oh, I thought the boys are taking a shower is what you say when you just wash your scrotum.
And I was like, man, it's a nice day outside. Like the weather has turned after the hurricane, and it's been nice outside. So I was standing on the porch, and I'm like, I'm gonna walk and get a White Claw from Murphy's Arcade.
Oh my God! Look at this guy.
Because the jazz.
I'm gonna push over this homeless person standing on the corner.
The wine bars across the street or whatever. So literally, I walked off the porch, took a left. I was in. Got a White Claw, got some wine for Crystal.
He was in the arcade,
and then I actually brought the boys back to the arcade to play like the old school arcade.
Now, okay, can we talk about that for a second?
It was like Wop Sops, right? I walked back with the
Did you get
wine.
some delicious food from Chantel's?
I didn't because we weren't there. We need to get back before
your
dark.
simple vegetarian boys on some soul food. That's a hard start for little bellies.
And
Chantel's will blow their shoes off. Dude.
Yeah. Soul food.
You get them some oxtail.
They need some seasonings on their food.
Yeah. Oh, those boys have never had seasonings.
I'm like, this is an awesome location.
It is
if you want to go Sanfording, like you walk out the front porch and then bar is 10 feet across the street and then every bar is within 100 foot. Like walking distance to everything.
Yeah. You could do. Yeah, actually, that's not a bad idea.
Then
walk
we should
back.
have
okay, what about this idea? What if we put little golf scorecards in the Air-T&D where you got to go around and get a drink and then the bartender will exit off and then we'll see who gets the best score.
Yeah. Listen,
drink golf.
I just want someone to book it.
No, I know you do. I know.
So we can pay
just book it.
The note.
Not even to pay us. It's just to keep the thing upright.
Yeah,
keep the payment in the hands of the owner.
The hurricane got us because there was a good section of bookings that we weren't able to get.
People are like, Florida's scary. I'm not booking it.
And look at that. Never lost power.
Never lost power.
I know.
Does that make you mad that that house is 100 years older
over
than you?
100 years old.
I know. Oh, yeah. Well, believe me.
It's the luck of the draw of the grid, man. You never know.
Yeah. And
you never know.
And that's what it seemed like. The hurricane was just so big. There's like small cells that were worse than others. So it was like,
I confirmed my old house, the one that our first studio was in, is not good. Like that would not. If we had stayed there, it got flooded. If I had stayed there. I'm sure it'll be fine. It's an older house. I'll probably just knock it down and make a new one. Because it's being held together by duct tape. That house has had so many Band-Aids on it. Like, even the roof job on that house, now I can talk about it, right? I can't get in trouble for selling somebody a house with a bad roof. Well, I don't expect it.
No.
That's expected.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the roof on that thing, the roof on that old, the first studio house, remember the patio room that we all partied in?
Yeah.
Okay. That roof, because it was so old, and I think this guy still advertises with the Monsters, Mike Morello, who did that roof. He had to engineer almost a double roof, like an airplane wing, to keep it, like, to make it flex, because it was such an old and, like, horribly engineered patio.
Yeah, I mean,
super scary.
Well, these old ass houses. It's crazy that there's houses that are still around, like our Airbnb and stuff, that are over 100 years old. Because it doesn't even seem possible that the structure would last. Like the wood, would last that long.
Well,
you know what I'm saying? I know that seems stupid, but it's like in a day and age,
and
where
it's a nice house. It's not like 100-year-old crappy house.
No,
nice
it was just built. It was just built.
I just don't want people to think, oh my god,
no, it's got a better refrigerator in it than mine.
It's great. It's just the I guess other states deal with this a lot more. Like or like if you get up in St. Augustine and stuff, you like older structures. Like just around Sanford and like around downtown, like the original housing that was built when they established Orlando or whatever. It's crazy to me that stuff is still around.
Well, I mean, we've been to Greenwood, and normally we do it for Halloween. We'll go to Greenwood and we'll see those cemetery markers or tombstones, for lack of a better term, that are made of wood that are still there.
Yeah.
They are literally get rained on every afternoon and have for the last 100 years, and they're just standing there sticking up out of the ground.
They don't make wood like they
Well,
used
they're from
to.
the 1800s.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Then you go, when we went to the Czech Republic, 10, 15 years ago or whatever.
What were you doing there?
Oh my God, he was a double agent.
We went on a vacation to Germany, and we saw Czech Republic. And anyway, when we were walking across the bridge, I don't know where we went.
Czech Republic.
I'm glad you made some memories.
He's like, it's the Czech Republic. What'd you do?
Went
I don't know.
somewhere, I
It
don't
was
We
the
saw
Czech Republic.
a bunch of old churches and stuff. The same thing everybody sees. But there was a church there was this thing was built in.
He's so grumpy. I love
All I
it.
want to do is travel, and this guy's like, I don't know. I went to a bunch of different countries.
Yeah.
Whatever. Saw some
It's-
old buildings.
I can't wait to see how grumpy he comes back from Hawaii.
Right?
They were
I
like,
saw some flowers. I saw some waterfall.
I mean,
whatever.
what was to cry about it? It's there. But the damn church was built in 900. And it was like,
Yeah.
900?
It wasn't even four numbers.
yeah. I was like, oh my God. And then you're looking at it, you're like, I cannot believe this thing is still, sure.
Everybody in the chat room's been to the Czech Republic, too.
What the
I
hell?
know. What's going on?
It's a tourist trap. You walk.
I never hear anybody talk about
heard
going
anybody
to Czech
say
Republic.
You walk across some famous bridge, and then across the bridge is some sort of Gothic, church that's a 900.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Whatever. It gets insane when you're in Europe, and then you go Do you guys have any interest in seeing the pyramids? Because that would be a cool thing for me to see.
Yeah, I do. My wife, though.
I feel like there's nothing else to do around.
That's kind of what I was.
Egypt.
I would like to see all of the great,
the wonders of the world.
Yeah, the wonders, the pyramids. Well, let's list them all. We got the pyramids. We got Nebuchadnezzar's Hanging Gardens, otherwise known as my mom's pubes. What else do we have?
Great Wall.
The Great Wall.
Statue of Zeus at Olympia.
Yeah, some of these aren't around anymore, right?
I don't like the Great Wall and the fact that
Don't say that. Don't say that. We need those people listening.
it's only great because of how big it is, and you can only see small sections of it at one time. For instance,
you want to see it all at one time.
Well, that's what makes it great, right? Just a small section of it is not that
Make it
impressive.
great.
But the fact that it's 300 miles long, I don't even know how long it is, but the length, the sheer magnitude of it,
Right.
it makes it a crazy thing to see. But you can't see the whole thing.
Can I ask you something?
The pyramid, at least in the distance, you're like, okay, I see the whole triangle.
I think I found our.
Right?
I think I found our new segment. It's why we should start doing a segment called "Why Shouldn't I Visit This Place?" And
Okay.
you and I and Sam will pick a place, a new place like pyramids, and then we're going to tell you the thing that you're supposed to see, and then we're going to give you all the reasons why you should never go there.
Well, I mean, the pyramids I can make an argument for,
But which one?
The Great Wall.
Which one? I've heard the Sphinx is disappointing, sir. I've heard the Sphinx is as big as a car.
Well, that's a
You go and you
that's
look
a
at this.
statue.
You go. I want to
see
It's considered a pyramid, and you go, and everybody's like, "Oh, look, it's a Sphinx," and you walk out, and you're like, it's as big as an AutoZone. I thought it was supposed to be humongo. It's not.
Well, it's like the what's that painting called? I saw too in Paris.
I love that
Mona
he doesn't
Lisa.
know any of this. This is the best.
I saw I saw Statue of David. That's not impressive. None of the paintings were impressive.
I want to know what impresses you.
We have yet to find it.
I mean, like,
Wait, hold on.
I
The
guess
weather.
wood houses, right?
I like
The
a good-
weather,
I like
the
a
weather
good-
in Murphy's Arcade, White Claw at Murphy's
Okay.
Arcade on a great day in Sanford. That impressed
Sweater
him.
weather.
and I like a good waterfall. I like a good waterfall. Like, what did you say? Like, I see a waterfall. I'm like, all right, that's pretty cool.
Now, are you a stand in the waterfall kind of guy? Because you're gonna
You can barely. There's barely any waterfalls you could actually stand in because we're so litigious nowadays that they're afraid because little rocks and stuff can get washed off the top. So it's kind of dangerous to stand in the falling water because.
Oh, give me a break.
Well,
dude.
if a rock is in the water, it will kill you.
I mean, I get it,
instantly.
but the odds of that. I mean, this is you talking, dude. What is the likelihood of
No,
loose rock falling and killing you and your family when you're taking that one photo in Honolulu or whatever? It's just not going to happen.
Well, interesting. There is a waterfall you could actually because I like to swim in the pool that the waterfall creates. You can't do that.
I've never heard this. Have you ever heard heard that he likes to swim in waterfall pools?
Well, you're not allowed to in most places
Is
because
this your thing
they
and
block
it's
it
been
off.
outlawed?
Well, they block it off because so many everybody's afraid of getting sued.
You know,
so
if
the state
you-
parks don't let you do it, and the thing.
If your favorite thing is to swim in a pool with a waterfall, you are a swinger because that's so swinger.
No, well, it's not my favorite thing. I would like to, in any waterfall, swim in the actual pool the waterfall creates.
Yeah.
Like, that's...
Not just under the waterfall. You want to have some downtime where you swim to the edge. You gotta look at the waterfall, swim around.
That's, but like any cool place nowadays is packed, and then they block that off so that all the
You gotta
tourists
go to
don't
another
drown.
country.
Okay,
right?
write this down, Sam. Write this down because our fearless hero, Traveling
Costa
Tom,
Rica.
Traveling Tom's going to Hawaii. The chat room has a bet that his favorite thing, waterfall, there will be so many that he will get to the end of his trip and he'll be like, I've seen a waterfall. They think you're going to do the typical, I've seen a million waterfalls and I've rocked them all. And you're going to be bored.
Well, on the opposite of that, this is the first time we're ever going to see a volcano, but you don't get to actually see the lava. Like, they only let you get close enough to see the smoke, and then at dusk, you can see the red, around the
Okay,
smoke.
now hold on. The red is acceptable. Smoke is a no-go for
I
me.
have a whole list of the best guide to waterfalls you can swim in Hawaii.
No, you're
But, well, there's a lot of islands. We're on the big island.
Yeah, you got to send that to him. He's going to need that.
Oahu?
No, that's
No.
I've been to that one when I was, me and Crystal went when we were 17, with the Grizz and the Wizard.
picked? Okay, can I? I was going to wait till another time to talk about this as a topic, but have you thought of the thing that you are going to do secretly, pre-planning now before you go, that is of surprise to her to kind of signify the return of the Vans to a special place that meant a lot to them in their adolescence. They're now returning. Now with a family.
Well, it's a different island.
But she's always, doesn't matter. Dude, you're not seeing the big picture here is that you've always wanted to return to Hawaii, even before you had kids. I knew as your friend that you would say that you and Crystal really wanted to go back, right? Now you're returning with your bestest buddies. So you got to do something emotional for her. You got to do
Well,
find a restaurant that you guys went to, find
Crystal-
something similar.
You can go to the Boiling Pots.
Wait, is she already ahead
Just
of me?
downstream of
Yeah,
PP Falls.
No,
Pee Pee Falls is famous.
We're going to
Yeah.
Pee Falls.
Pee Pee Falls
You
is
can
famous.
swim there.
Yeah,
you got to swim at Pee Pee Falls, and your sons will literally laugh their hair off.
There's also Kaka Falls.
Yeah.
That's way better.
but,
Kaka Falls is-
Nanu Falls. I got all these waterfalls. you can
Kaka
swim
Yeah,
in.
we're going to go to a bunch
you
of
got to
them.
do the Pee Pee Poopa Falls.
So Crystal already brought this up because she's already planned out everything.
Did I make you mad? See, I thought I was like giving you the juice. All I did was I brought up something that she's already brought up, and then I just saw him get more mad at me.
Well, I'm mad because
You can
the
call us
tremendous
emotional
amount of
dum-dums.
Well, the tremendous amount of money this all. I don't want to add anything else on there. Because
I was going to. I'll pay for this.
It's putting us into
Financial ruin.
I think we're going negative for a while. Anyway, so
you got to lean out for a bit.
it's
Ramen.
She's like, while we're there, we should renew our vows.
I think so too.
and so
Because there's nothing more meaningless in my eyes than renewing your vows.
it's also like a curse of that means like, what are you renewing it for?
Don't just say you love me. Say it like you mean it.
In front of some.
Tell you're not happy.
Say it in front of the notary.
Yeah, you got to say it in front of this volcano smoke.
Yeah. He paid $180 a year for this license. So
That's a good question from the chat. How many weddings would this be now for you?
Oh yeah, 4.
No, yeah.
4 weddings.
So I suggested.
Do you need to renew your vows when you've had 4 fake weddings?
Yes, absolutely. You're the only person. Yeah, you absolutely do.
Sam, you're asking the person. I don't need any of it. I don't even need the vows to begin with.
Oh, wow.
What if you renounce
I'll
your
sign
vows?
the contract. I signed the contract.
What if
it's a business.
What if you did a 180? What instead of redoing your vows or renewing them? I said redoing them. What if you renounced them?
It's a whole different. You do that in Sanford.
Wow. At the AirT&D, celebrate at the AirT&D.
Same amount of smoke. It's same amount of volcano smoke in Sanford.
So
living at the AirT&D. It used to be the AirT&D, or excuse me, Airbnb. It's now Tom's house.
Yeah.
He lives
That's how
there
we
now.
live,
He rents it from the lady.
So my suggestion was, and Crystal wouldn't do this, but I was like, well,
nude.
Your
scuba dive wedding.
No, your brother's already paying for the whole, like...
no, you don't want to steal their shine. Dude.
No, hold on.
Classless.
No.
You're stealing their shine.
Move.
No.
You're stealing their shine.
No, but it makes it... No.
It's like when... Okay, it'd be like if Samantha's husband was going to propose to... Or, okay, Samantha gets married, right? And I'm at the reception. The most classless thing I can do at her reception is to stand up and then say, I've got something I've been wanting to do, and then ask Andrea to marry me. You're stealing shine, dude. You can't jump on...
Okay, hold on. Of course, standing up in front of the whole... I'm saying we're going to the beach wedding. They hired a notary or whatever the hell, a priest. I don't know what they hired.
It's a Hawaiian shaman.
And I'm sure they've got...
Volcano priest.
Some sort of lattice work arch.
Is it on the beach?
It's on the beach, yeah. So, now again, I don't pay attention to any of the details. I'm sure Crystal knows about all this, but I know at least there's going to be a notary of some sort and then lattice work. My point was, I'll go to the guy, like he pulls up in his Toyota Camry or whatever, and then I'm going to tell him, like, hey, can you stick around for...
No, you can't get leftover officiation.
No, just half an hour. I'll pay you $200. Just stick around for half an hour, and then everybody will leave to the reception, and then they'll do the renewal, right? That'll be way cheaper because the guy's already there.
You're doing the same thing with the tree company of your neighbors.
He always does this. He approaches trees just like marriage.
It's already happening. The lattice is already set on the beach. Someone they brought it all out.
And you didn't do what I told you to do. Okay, the tree company is a great segue for our guest, but hey, I'm going to tell you straight up, you didn't do what I told you to do with the tree company, which was to have your beautiful wife walk out with the...
She did.
She did? I didn't know she showcased the ladies because you had some money off.
Yeah. It turns out when you need OxyContin,
you're not horny.
That's not a substitute. It's like, I need cash.
It makes me less horny.
Welcome to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. I'm Tom.
I am Dan. Our producer, Samantha, holding down the corner. What up?
Hello.
Let's do some weird jobs.
Oh, my God. I didn't have my button ready. I did have my butt. I was working on a new song. I didn't get a chance to finish.
Tom wanted to do a bit. He called it Weird Job Wednesday. Dan really likes it. Tom says that's bullshit. It's another Weird Job Wednesday. What are you doing? What is your job? Are you neat? Are you tidy? Or are you a fat slob? Do you make lots of money and you sit up in your tower looking down on all the people who are working by the hour? It's a Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Oh yes, it's Weird Job Wednesday. Just another Weird Job Wednesday. Thank you, Tom. Thank
I wish people could see us all sitting in silence staring open.
I mean, they can if they go to twitch.tv/Tom and Dan Live.
Absolutely, Sam. Back to you.
Weird Job Wednesday
Back
brought
to
to
me?
you
Yeah,
by
back to you, Sam.
StreamlineFlorida.com. You can Streamline Mortgage Solutions. Also, StreamlineCalifornia.com if you live in that state. So we got Jeremy on the line. How you doing, Jeremy?
Very well, thank goodness.
So
quite a week last week.
Yeah, man. That was a spicy one, right?
Hey, we're in Palm Bay. We really, really lucked out, man.
Oh, yeah. Palm Bay. Yeah. How bad were your winds?
It was about 1:30 in the morning. We weren't expecting it until later on the next day. And I tell you what, once I heard it, I went outside. There were so many crazy colors in the sky and everything else. You could hear all the transformers popping. It was crazy.
It's not like the sound of that is like it's unlike anything. When you hear the transformers popping, it's real scary.
So
you feel it, right?
Yeah, definitely. And the pressure's different when you're standing outside. You can feel it.
So, Jeremy, what's your weird job?
So, one of the weirdest jobs that I had was actually being an ice cream man when I was a little bit younger. This is actually back in the 90s.
Wait a minute. You were a 1990s ice cream man.
Yes, sir.
That's pretty awesome. So how did it work? Did you own your own truck? Did you work for someone else?
So I had a really, really horrible job in a mattress factory.
Well, you didn't really get it, but you were close. You almost saved it.
In a mattress factory?
Yeah, so they actually made all their mattresses, and our job was to get there probably about 7:30 in the morning, and we were the fabric folks. So we would give them the fabric, and they'd put the interior in it, and they'd sew it all together, and then we'd send it to where they put in the box springs and all the other stuff.
Okay, so when you said you put the fabric on it, like you were actually putting like manufacturing.
They have rolls of fabric, rolls of cushion, rolls of backing, and they sew all that stuff together. You know, the little designs on your mattress,
like the quilting.
But what did you do?
Yeah.
Were you like an assembly line guy, or were you stitching
Were you
something?
stuffing in?
So no, I was the 6'4" muscle guy that picked the rolls up and brought them to the machine.
Ah, you were the muscle
Okay,
guy.
you're like, you women
Things
put
up
the
and puts them
fabric
down.
on this. I'm doing the man thing.
So like I said, a bad job.
Yeah. Well, lifting
So
rolls.
I
of
was
fabric.
leaving that bad job.
Yeah.
And I saw like 30 ice cream trucks just pouring into this one little location. Now, I lived in the city, upstate New York for quite a while, and I'm like, what? Hold on.
What are all these freaking ice cream trucks going? Hey, where are you guys going?
Now, remember, I'm only like 17 or 18 at this point, but I'd already dropped out of school because I wanted to work full time and got the GED, all that. And I said, you know, we don't get a lot of summer here in New York. Maybe I want to cruise around in the ice cream truck for the summer. So I told my buddy, turn around, let's go check out and see what's going on.
Hey,
Hold
let's
on,
go
Jeremy.
check out these freaking trucks.
Let me ask you a quick side note question. Did getting your GED help you at all with anything in your life?
Why you gotta do that, man?
Hold on, I'm just asking because my pop-up...
Hold on.
Yeah.
So I took my GED like the day that I was able to take it, and I hadn't been in school. I left school in Ohio because I had a full-time job there. We moved back to New York, and I was like, well, maybe I'll go back to school. It lasted about 5 months. I'm like, no, I can't do that anymore. So as soon as I was eligible, I went and got it, and I guess it did. I mean, they ask if you have it. Nobody was like, let me see your GED, sir.
well, that's my point.
Just put it down. You got it. Hell.
But for what, though? Like, it's all, I'm going to say the same thing about my college degree, too, because I'm never going to use it. I'm already at the end. I'm never going to use it. It's never been used. Complete waste. That's all I'm saying.
Many years later, I went back to school.
Anyway.
But I wanted to.
So, what was like the process of even becoming an ice cream truck driver? Is it a company that hired a bunch?
I would imagine you'd have to like ice cream or at least have a knowledge of sweet treats, no?
Hey, ice cream trucks, man. Who doesn't love ice cream trucks?
Yeah, but like there are some people like, okay, I wasn't going to say it, but this guy right here is sitting in front of me. He isn't going to be your best ice cream truck driver because
they don't have to know anything.
Yes, you do. You got to know that SpongeBob's got the bubblegum nose. You got to know that the Screwball's got the bubblegum in the butt.
All I knew is, hey, I like fudgicles.
Hey, mark that out. Cut that out.
So, you know how you get the job? You walk in. And you have a license. That's all it took.
Is there any kind of background check?
Not in the 90s.
In the 90s? Hell no.
He's right.
So
just farted into the phone.
So Jeremy, but you said you walk in. Was there a huge company that had a fleet of trucks that they sent out every day? Like,
was it a brand name ice cream truck?
I honestly thought all ice cream trucks were individually owned, like food trucks.
I thought they were independent. I did too.
So this is where I got a real quick education. Now picture all the movies and everything else, and the slime guys that do taxi companies and everything else. They're doing the ice cream companies too.
So, basically. So
you got a couple gentlemen of whatever persuasion that bought 40 trucks and the freezers and everything else, and they're the distributor for the ice cream.
Gotcha.
So this is like mafia-run ice cream trucks?
So they basically like a taxi company.
They unionize it like the garbage or everything else. You the ice cream union, the garbage union.
Oh,
ice cream mafia.
Listen, we had to report any other trucks immediately.
You worked in the ice cream mafia.
So I was 17, 18. I know I was having a good time.
So Jeremy, would it be like a taxi company where you rent the taxi for a daily rate and then all the fare money goes to you until you surpass the daily rate and all that is income past that?
Close. What it is they got to get their money back, and the way they do that is by selling the ice cream. So you have to buy their product at the price that they set because you're using their truck. You're still paying for gas, though.
Okay.
So you buy ice cream at a little bit of a discount. You upcharge it enough to cover your costs and gas?
Right. For the owners, yes, that's what they were doing.
And do you have a specific territory that they send you to, or a route? Everybody's like takes a different area. How does that work?
Yeah, for some reason I got the worst area, or poorest, or
poor people don't like. Well, they like ice cream, but they can't buy it. So you're driving around with all of them looking at you all day.
Again, I contend the poor neighborhoods are the ones that actually use ice cream trucks. You never see ice cream trucks in rich neighborhoods.
I killed it.
Besides Baldwin.
Baldwin has an ice cream truck every day, and Maisie loves it.
Yeah. And
listen, they've got hot chicks that work there, the hot guys. They send them to the beaches and everywhere else that you think, hey, this is a really affluent neighborhood. Guess what? I did twice the business they did.
Telling you.
So,
interesting.
So you drive. Okay, this is the '90s too.
Yes, you got your Pearl Jam,
no cell phones.
You got your Pearl Jam 10 album cranking.
Do you get to pick your own ice cream truck music?
No. Okay, so the song was The Entertainer that I got to listen to for 9 to 10 hours a day for 5 to 6 days a week.
Oh, my God.
Stop.
I know all songs. I know a lot of songs. I'm the best with songs.
I never thought about how much torture that must be. Like just
oh, my God.
On a loop, yeah.
Isn't it what Serial Killer? Didn't Saw do that to all of the kids?
Yeah.
Like, remember when Saw freaked out and he was all about insurance? And he was like, insurance rates are too high. Here, listen to The Entertainer.
So basically they said, you're a big guy. Let's give you this area. We're going to do you training for one day. Training one day was sitting in a truck with a 70-year-old dude that's just smoking going, go ahead, you got it.
So, Jeremy, I want to understand. Okay, was the marketing? You drive down a neighborhood slow with the music, and then do you wait?
It's like fishing for children.
And do you wait until the kids come out? Do you stop? Like, because I imagine the problem that there's been an ice cream.
You're
truck.
overthinking this ice cream, Tom.
No. Well, I'm explaining.
Nah, he's not at all.
Yeah, see, Jeremy knows. There used to be an ice cream truck that came by our house currently in Castleberry.
Oh, what happened to it? You ran him away? You ran him away.
I never see him or hear him, but like every once in a while, we'd hear the music, right? And then
you never see him.
And then we'd be like, "Oh my God, the ice cream truck!" And then the kids would be like, "Ice cream!" And then I'm like, "Get your pants on!"
Get your
What?
pants
What's going on?
And then by the time I would try to find cash, I'm like, "I don't have cash.
The cash is in my pants, and I don't have pants on."
And then I'd run outside, and we'd see it drive away. I'm like, you have to stop and wait a little bit. Like we need time to get out of the house.
You gotta wave.
No, that's why they drive slow. And they have the music cranked loud, so you got to run out.
And you tell your fastest friend to run up there and go, tell him to stop.
But why don't they just park and give it a...
They got to go on the move. They got to find the kids that are ready.
I will say the Baldwin
neighbors want to shoot you. If you park in one area and crank that tune for any more than 10 or 15 minutes, you got neighbors coming out of their house.
Okay, he just took what I was going to say. The Baldwin one has to move because these crotchety ass white people around here, they're like, on your way, sir, on your way.
So I do
the training day, don't learn anything. They're like, okay, here's your truck the next day. And I'm like, okay, I kind of know the neighborhood. And show up at 9 or 10 o'clock tomorrow morning. You don't want to start too early. And they go, okay, what do you want for the truck? We gave you some basics. And I'm like, okay, I'll take some of this and this. So, of course, dumbass, 17, 18-year-old kid buys probably $300 too much product and the wrong product.
What was the most popular ice cream?
Well, I mean, this is where you're going to get into some socioeconomic talk. So let's all
It was the horrible... at that time, it was like Ghostbusters and Pac-Man and those horrible sherbet things with the gumballs.
Okay, the Pac-Man yellow lime, or it would be a lemon ice sherbet.
I would guess lemon.
Yeah, it was a Pac-Man as a lemon ice sherbet, and he has a ruby red gumball eye that had melted, and now it's down by his belly button.
I also like all these characters they use for these ice creams or whatever. They don't license anything because it would cost too much money to get the real Sonic license. So it's always a Bobo version.
Back in the 90s, it was for sure.
Like a Bobo version of Spider-Man and stuff where you could tell we were like, this doesn't look exactly like the logo.
And they look so bad, too. They're always horrible. The kids were always disappointed. They're like, what the?
Yeah, because
about
the company that made those isn't going to license the rights from Sony to do. They're just going to put the thing on there. It's a tiny company, I assume, right?
It's Pac-Man without a dash. Or something.
Yeah. So what about did they give you the standard chocolate with vanilla ice cream? You got to have the sandwiches. Then you gotta have the double fudge bars, which are it's not quite fudge and it's not quite a popsicle. It's a chocolate flavored ice bar. Then you gotta have
Bomb Pops were number one. Overall, Bomb Pops and Push Pops were 1 and 2.
What about creamsicles? Did you carry any of those, or was that not a thing?
No, man, we didn't have any creamsicles.
Okay.
Mississippi Mud.
We did have a few.
What about
root beer? We had root beer sickles
strawberry
too.
shortcake is a huge one.
Or the screwball.
Oh, my favorite, my absolute favorite. That and the chocolate.
I like the chocolate one.
Chocolate eclair, strawberry shortcake, screwball. Tom brings up screwball.
Oh, what was the one that was chocolate and banana and chocolate?
If you like screwballs,
I like screwballs.
That's the word. Why would I yell at my?
It's like red sherbet with a gumball in the bottom.
Yeah, and it's in a plastic cup like you would get at a water fountain. Water cooler.
You're telling your friend that he shouldn't cheat on his wife. You're drinking
it's just frozen Kool-Aid.
Yeah.
That must have been a Southern thing. I don't know.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, I scream at my sons when they they have the whole ice cream.
likes them too.
And they're like, I want a screwball. I'm like, you picked the worst option. No. This is the black jelly bean or licorice of candies. Like, who chooses that?
Any kid sees the ice cream on the sign with the gumball and gets that because they, in their feeble child mind, they think it's double the treat. You're getting ice cream plus gum. Yeah. Right? You're getting a double treat.
With the gum, they don't even like gum.
Well, also gum when it's frozen, it's like sucked to the moisture. Yeah, it's horrible.
So, Jeremy, I've always wondered with ice cream trucks. Now, I know we're talking the 90s, so gas was the 90 cents. So it wasn't a big
time to be an ice cream man.
But it seems like the margins are so unbelievably small that you'd have to move an insane amount of product to pay for gas and your time and actually make it worth it.
Worth your while, yeah.
So after that first horrible week, I sat down at Perkins because a bunch of my friends worked there, and I got a map, and I mapped out a route because a lot of people were saying, what are you doing here at this time? Oh, you don't have the right stuff. Where'd our old ice cream man go? And I said, I'm sticking to this 100%. So over the next couple of weeks, I was there at the area at a specific time every day. Then you get your stock figured out, and so it was like this. I would work 4 days a week, not Sundays. The first day you would really load up the truck and you wouldn't make any money. The next day you would probably make $250 cash.
That's a lot for the 90s.
I was going to say that is a lot.
Yes, it was.
And I got to commend you for a second, man, because I don't think there was ever a time when I was I don't want to. I'm not going to crap on myself too much.
I was living on my own though, too. Remember?
Well, but I'm just saying, you were on your own, or you were not.
Yeah, I got kicked out at just before 17 for smoking a devil's lettuce.
So you smoked a little weed and your parents kick you out, but at 19 to sit down at a Perkins, make a route, and then decide that you're going to budget, figure out what you need in the truck, have a plan of attack, focus yourself, get hey, I'm going to work these 4 days, I'm going to take these days up. That's extremely responsible for a 18, 19-year-old, I feel like.
Or obsessive compulsive, ADD, some of those.
Yeah.
But it worked.
So Jeremy, you actually could make good money. Now, I'm curious about because in the 90s, this is probably all cash business. You're not taking debit credit cards. There's no Square.
No
way. It's all cash business.
You had the paper books. You had to look the credit card numbers up at.
Yeah. So with all cash business, I know that in the 90s, I've always heard about taxi cab drivers getting robbed. Was there a worry about getting robbed?
For me, there really wasn't, but did I have a bat in my freezer? Yes, I did.
What, wait a minute, like a Florida bat or like a baseball bat?
No. It was I think it was a kid's baseball bat or something that was weighted really well. So
okay, I'm glad you didn't use any slang words for those.
Well, it also won't really do nothing when someone's robbing you with a gun.
Hold on. So remember, I'm 17, 18. You can't get guns permits in New York even now, even though it's illegal. But back then, it was impossible for someone that's doing what I was doing. The owners, maybe, because that was all. Figure those 40 trucks going there every night with almost all cash. That's where that.
Gotcha.
That's where the deal was at. So anyhow, I would make drops in different unpopular ice cream boxes through the day with my cash. So if anybody said, give me all you got, they only ever got $20 or $30 if they would.
Gotcha. So you'd constantly be dumping cash, so you're not carrying around an insane amount.
Super smart.
Right.
Now
the second year they had me train a girl so that I could have some time off, and her first day she got robbed.
Oh,
typical woman.
They
look like
you got Jeremy real good.
He's like, I wasn't even being serious. I just have a list of responses here. When people say something about a lady, I go typical old lady response. Make me, make me
an
a
ice
cup of
cream
coffee.
sandwich.
Yeah. I was a local. I don't think she quite knew the area as well as she thought. But.
So Jeremy,
was she cute? You could have, had a little ice cream romance.
She was 7 or 8, but hey, I'm a 5 or 6 at that age.
Hey, that's all right. That's all right.
So how, it seems to me that you can go to these neighborhoods on the weekend, the kids are always there, but...
Always a fire hydrant spraying for some reason.
On a weekday, would you just plan the route so that you're there after school or whatever? Because you couldn't make any money while the kids are at school.
Well, no, it's only summertime. Remember, you were talking New York, so you only get 3 months season, and everybody's out of school.
Gotcha. So, okay.
Yeah, and then back to the mattress factory.
Yeah, I thought this was a full... this is just a seasonal job.
What'd you do after ice cream? So if ice cream was your summer job and then you were leaving mattresses, did you transition to something else?
So what we would do is you were able to collect then unemployment for a few months after you were laid off. But we would usually do the haunted hay rides.
Dude, ice cream man and haunted hay ride. These are Tom's favorite jobs.
So, Jeremy, I'm curious to, because nowadays, if you ran a company in which you had ice cream trucks go out there...
There's got to be one in Orlando, right?
I don't think so. I think they're all individual because your insurance would be astronomical. Because think about what the insurance company's looking at. I'm like, hold on, you got a fleet of trucks that you go to these neighborhoods and you're attracting kids to run out at your car
into the street.
And
you're giving them food, which is enough loopholes as it is. Food service, Jesus Christ, the amount of inspections and crap.
I'm thinking of just the likelihood of you driving away and running a kid over, especially when all your drivers are kids too. Basically, they're all like brand new licensed drivers that are attracting kids towards their giant truck that they probably never drove before. Nowadays, good luck getting insurance. It would be $10,000 a month, and there would be no margin to make money in ice cream.
I wonder if the places around town that do it, there's a couple of them around here that they're not independent. They have
they have Mr. Softy,
and then we have
the Kona Ice one.
Kona, okay, Kona would be a good one,
Kona.
and then
they probably just
Kelly's Kelly's has a fleet, I think, now.
But they just go to events and sit there.
No.
They drive around too?
Kona comes around my neighborhood.
Around my neighborhood.
I know. I'm upset because I'd give me some Kona.
I just assumed that the insurance would be so insane. Maybe they have guidelines you cannot serve until you have to have a certain amount of mirrors. I'm just saying it seems like they're
going to make it hard.
Yeah. And you're missing half the danger, which is not the truck or the driver; it's everybody else around. Because you don't have any flashing lights, you don't have the bus stuff. I mean, we had stop signs that we would pop out and stuff, but.
I was going to ask you, did you ever have an accident? I mean, was it because...
No. Okay.
Yeah, oh my God. You just screamed no. Talk about it.
That makes it sound guilty, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't be calling about the funny job if something horrible had happened.
Excuse me, OJ. So, OJ, you were telling us that you absolutely... No!
I'm just saying...
I got a tack in my shoe.
You never... I ran into another car. I'm not saying running over a kid, but something gruesome. I'm just saying anything. Scrape the side of the truck, anything.
No.
You know what? At the end, because they got so greedy, the point they kept raising their prices because obviously all the other stuff's going up. So a lot of the drivers would go to the grocery store and get the simple stuff, popsicles, whatever else.
Oh, you're undercutting them. I'll break your legs if you do that to me. I'm Big Daddy Ice Cream. If you start buying Publix ice cream and not buying Daddy's ice cream, I'm breaking your GD legs.
Yeah.
So there's a road with a really big hump. You know what I mean? When you go over it with a regular car, you kind of, whoa, you almost got airborne.
Yeah.
Man, I would have that freezer box about a foot off the bed of the truck and go, pow, and it'd bang it off.
Oh, you were doing that just to get at them. I'm going to ruin their truck.
I was just curious if it would come up.
when the mob boss is breaking your legs for buying a competitor's ice cream. I like it when they're holding a bomb pop and eating. You know what I'm saying? Like when they're like representing what they make their money off of while like they're pacing back and forth. And
you thought you could freeze us out? Oh.
Their goons
they're sucking on a lollipop or a popsicle. Yeah.
And then you're like, well, actually, I can't break your legs or fingers because you still got to drive my truck. So it's got to be like
they'll put popsicle sticks up your nail beds.
Oh
right?
yeah, or a gut punch. I like a good two guys holding on either, like hold your arms, and then the main boss does the old gut punch.
Yeah.
I want to do that.
I like a good gut
hold
punch.
them up straighter.
I envisioned a little bit more of me like tying you to a chair, and then I start playing like Reservoir Dogs. I start playing, Little Green Bag, and I have a razor blade, and I'm like, hey, I heard you've been buying some Publix bomb pops and not buying Little Daddy. So I'll tell you what we're going to do. You and I going to have a little conversation.
And frost is coming out everybody's mouth, too, and everybody's really cold except for the guy in the chair.
You're in the freezer.
Yeah. And you're going to have like openings in the warehouse where you see a little bit of snow falling.
And then we leave you in there a couple hours. Think about what you've done.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, Jeremy, what would you say out of a summer, like how much cash could you bring in a seasonal summer job ice cream truck driver?
So I was clearing like $500 to $600 a week. Because remember, you work 4 or 5 days, you got a day you don't make any money because you got to load the truck up. But then at the weekend, you have it work out so the truck's empty and you get all the money in your pocket.
That's pretty good, man.
For the 90s and 19 years old.
I feel like that's like $1,000 a week at this in 2023 terms.
I've also started.
Nowadays,
I've also started judging these jobs a little differently, and tell me what you guys both think of this. I've started judging these at the time, almost like Quantum Leap style, right? I'm putting myself in his shoes at the time, and this sounds like it would be very fun.
Yeah,
I'm 18 or 19. I'm like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm going to start judging this.
It's not that hard,
not
right?
for me now. A 46-year-old man doing this in Orlando would not be fun. I'm just saying, 18 or 19.
I am not saying that at 17, 18 years old, at about 3:30 in the afternoon, there weren't a lot of ladies coming out to check out the ice cream truck.
Did you ever,
the old bum?
Hey, get one inside your truck?
Creamsicle.
Tommy when I'm passing by. Oh, my.
No, he's singing old man.
Jabba-doo, jabba-dee-da.
He's singing an ice cream spiritual.
When the moon hits your eyes.
Come on, David Lee Roth, Ice Cream Man.
Is that what you were singing, Tom? I thought you were doing an old Negro spiritual. Like,
Lord. What? So, you got something in the back of the truck one time? Like, is there anything like that?
Did you
like,
just say something?
Maxwell. Something. That's a song by Maxwell.
Nah, that didn't happen. That's just, old man exaggeration story.
You got it too deep, didn't you?
Old man, different story.
Okay, all right.
Well, Jeremy, thanks so much for calling in. We appreciate it. Thanks for cooking all the pastries at our BDM beach party. We appreciate that.
If you missed the beach
that
party,
was awesome.
you missed all the tiny hors d'oeuvres we had.
Yeah.
Or as my father called them, horty orbs.
Yeah, we hope to see you at our Bad Business Beer Fest. This happening in November, and Soph and Suds. You're going to make it out to those type of events?
I'm going to keep an eye on the schedules. If I can't make it out myself, I can always drop some stuff off so the venue can just cook it up and give samples to everybody that's there.
Yeah. All right, well.
I'll tell you what. You can drop
we'll give you an address at a
time. Jeremy, thanks so much. We'll talk to you soon, okay?
Thanks, guys.
All right, buddy. Be good.
I like Jeremy.
He's great. Yeah, he's awesome, man. He's also a giant.
Yeah.
So I don't think I would have ever screwed with him in the ice cream truck because he's like 6'8" or something, right? 6'5", 6.
Those old New York real men that they still have, like, they know what it's like in the 80s in New York.
Yeah.
80s,
like 90s and beyond.
Yeah.
They're like an easy listing station. 80s, 90s, and beyond.
He sent me a variety of jobs that he did, and I picked the ice cream man. But the other ones he also did. He was a small deli owner at 21 with his parents.
That's another good one, dude.
He sold shoes and tuxedos.
I've always wanted to sell tuxedos.
And 25 years as a classically trained chef. which is what he was doing.
He gave me this like little. It was egg, like I think Gruyere cheese.
I think that saved some people's lives.
Yeah, and then like it had like sun-dried tomatoes with a basil, and I'm like, this is delicious.
All these old school New York guys had a ton of jobs, by the way. Like, they've all had a bunch of odd jobs that have nothing to do with each other either.
That? I think that's a good thing.
Yeah,
I think it gives you perspective. I think it makes you treat other people that may be working a job that you may like. Your job may be cushier. Yeah, you remember what it's like. It gives you that perspective. Is everything, right?
Yeah. And, knowing a little bit about a lot is always good.
What job would you like to see your boys get if we're just, for an aside topic? Maisie's already been kicking around that she wants a job.
Goddamn.
Well, because because she wants money. And I'm not just giving out money.
I've already proposed many businesses for my sons that they could start. They don't want to do it. They're lazy.
No,
I tell them,
find one.
I'm like, you could sell plants online. I'll teach you how to propagate them. And then
Van Brothers Plants is so cute.
That's what I said.
Oh my God, so cute.
I'm like, and then you get free marketing from your old man.
Yeah.
And then
everybody want a Van Brothers plant.
And then I'm like,
Tony Munjet can do the photos.
Yeah, I'm like, you propagate some of these fiddly figs. Like, that's a standard basic bitch plant that everybody wants, and then you have to grow them for a year before they're worth anything. But you could sell them $25 a piece online, 3-4 leaves tall.
Yeah,
I'm like, you could make. I told them, you can make enough money to buy a new Xbox or whatever. And they're like, all right. I know you're never going to do it.
Why would they want to do that when Daddy will just give them whatever they want?
No, I tell them, I'm like, well, you're not going to get the Xbox unless you start Van Brothers Plants. I'll show you how to go to GoDaddy.
You'll get on the Xbox.
I'll call.
The only GoDaddy they got is you'll GoDaddy down to the old.
No, I told them I'm like, you earned this money yourself.
Go to GameStop and get them an Xbox.
All right.
I'm gonna have Maisie sell her panties, but don't tell me.
No, come on. Why would you say that? What? It's too.
What? They're brand new. They're brand new. You made it weird.
Too far.
What would be wrong with somebody selling clothing, sir? You made it weird. I didn't say anything weird. You made it weird.
So last night, for the first time ever, Max rode my one wheel by himself.
Oh,
was that the proudest moment you've ever had as a parent?
Did you cry?
I teared up a little bit. And then immediately...
Those things are so dry, it blew the dust out first. It was
my wheels started turning because now...
do stunts on it and put them on the internet.
No. Well, I got to buy 2 pints, right? And 2 one-wheel pints are...
2 pints? You buy 2 pints every night, bud.
$2,000, right? And
do they even want one?
Well, Max, once he started riding, he's like, and I started telling him, like, they make a smaller version called the pint, and then we can all ride the streets.
This is my dream. This is what I've always wanted. You want one, right? You want one, right?
Exactly.
Tommy's inside.
Don't you want a pint? Don't you want a pint? Where's Tommy?
Anyway, Crystal doesn't want this.
Right.
She's like, we just taught him how to learn ride bicycles. That already took too long. Like, they need to ride bikes, not get on these damn one wheels or whatever. So I have to figure out a way, to get $2,000 and get these. But also, I don't want to buy them. Just give them to.
You could sell your panties.
No, well, I don't want to also just give them $1,000 pint, maybe for Christmas, I guess. But it seemed like too big of a gift, right? Like $1,000, it's too much.
Yeah.
So
I get it.
So then now, but
just get them one and they can share.
No, that doesn't work. Because my dream is Sam. It's about my dream.
I know.
What do you?
I'm conflicted because I see Crystal.
I need them both following me as we.
Well, one can ride a bike.
No, well, we all got to be
trade
together.
off.
Yeah.
Well,
he wants it to be like
so that people see
like
through a dad and 2 kids all on one wheels, and they're like,
it's all about the
and
image.
And then they say, "Look at that dad! He's the best dad in the world. He's
best dad in the world."
Look at his dad.
You're on a pint.
This guy's the best dad in the world because if he's riding a one-wheeled dorkmobile with his 2 sons. Look at
these, they're miserable.
Look at
by
these
the way.
3 freaking Kookameyers.
They think it's too hot outside.
And then we're going to nice weather out. I mean, with the
sweater
weather.
Look at the 3 Kookameyers driving their.
Anyway,
look how cool they are.
It's coming. It's coming.
Yeah, wear their tinfoil hats.
I'm going to make it happen. I just don't know how yet. It's
get
coming.
Van Boy plants sold.
Well, they won't even go outside to start. I'm like, you have to put it in water for a while before it grows roots. And then,
hard.
It's going to be a year before you see
Can I
results.
analyze this a little bit more? Because all I heard was you said Max rode your one wheel by himself, and he was really happy about it. But you didn't say Max came to me, and he will not shut up.
Well, that's what I said. Do they even want
pint
one?
he wants.
He could be excited that he could do it, but that doesn't
You know
mean
what
he
Max
wants
is excited
one.
about, and he started this morning. Can I say that to her? I don't want to blow a future topic.
What?
You know what Max is excited about? Because he started it this morning because this guy was here at the crack of dawn. He opened the studio this morning because he's got a little athlete in his family now.
I dropped him off for first day of cross-country running.
We'll see how that goes.
Yeah, I don't know.
It's not about that. It's about this pint.
Yeah.
Who wants to run when you can ride?
Well, he did, but the problem is he's like, I want one of these,
then give him yours. You hate yours, and then buy you the brand new one you want.
No, but
and then wait until Tommy wants his own.
No way.
He may want an Xbox.
Because, I get him too much. You understand? I've screwed this up here.
What'd you do?
Because I want to have this dream, but all my parenting, I did a horrible job. So I can't just buy them.
You came to the right spot. I do it too.
Well, I can't just buy them these expensive-ass pints and then
Why stop now?
Well, because I realize, Sam, that this is going to be doing some future damage, and I can't live with myself if I make horrible humans in the future.
You got to make them. I think what Sam's trying to say. And I'm really bad at
how do I get my dreams without...
you have to wait for your dreams, because what Sam's trying to say, and I think most parents would say, is that you got to really make them earn the pint.
Yeah, but they're too lazy.
Yeah, but I'm not convinced that they want them. I think they want the Xbox.
No,
I know they want the Xbox
more.
because I asked Tommy.
They do want that more.
What I'm saying is,
I said, what's your favorite
toy? You're about to spend $2,000 on 2 pints that they might not even want.
What do you mean might? They don't. I asked Tommy
to his face. But they want the Xbox, and you won't give it to him.
I asked Tommy to his face what his favorite toy is, and he didn't even tell me a toy. He said Roblox. That's not a toy. I said, what's your favorite toy? He goes, Roblox. They both go, Roblox.
Yeah, they want to play video games over anything. But I want them to get them outside, riding the one wheel with me around the streets of Castleberry.
I know.
And then let the people see the dad and the tiny kids.
What if I rode behind you? Volley into hell. And then Sam. What if Sam rode behind you? Playing the part of Tommy.
I'll never get on one of those things. Remember when I almost died on Roop's
Future Flight. Don't talk about that. He's still clearing up some lawsuits.
By the way, my sons have the hoverboards. I tried to ride one in the house, and I could do it, but it seemed harder than Roop's back in the day. Either that or I'm older than it was.
Well, we're stiffer. You are older.
I got up there, and I was like, oh.
I have fallen down in an elevator a couple of times recently, like an old man.
What do you mean fall? You just
I fell to the ground like an old man, and then I have to have
what?
I have to have people like this morning. I fell in an elevator. Yeah, I did.
Like fell on the floor.
Yeah, my back is so messed up, dude. I fell in an elevator like an elderly man, and then a younger, like a doctor man, and a lady held me to my feet.
They helped you to the feet like an old man?
Well, I pulled up on the...
Never let them see your weak.
They saw weakest I've ever been.
Never let them see it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I'll figure that part out. We'll figure
the pint. You'll get your dream, buddy. It just I feel like...
Have them start a YouTube channel. Or a Twitch channel.
Okay, that's a hybrid between Roblox and... Okay, that's not a bad idea.
They can raise money that way.
That's not a bad idea.
They won't make money that way. You got to sell goods or services.
No, you don't.
Yeah,
they need a Christmas tree lot.
Starting a YouTube channel, they'll never... There's a million of them. They'll never make any money off it.
That's why Daddy comes on his big famous radio show and promotes it.
Yeah, but then I promote it, and then some people are like, I think there's a lot better ones. Tom and Dan playing Minecraft. The other kids
are great. Have you seen those guys?
They've been doing it for a decade, so they got the reps. My son's the start newbie. I mean, by the time they get good, it'll be 5 years from now. Like, it's no way. Like that ship has sailed.
Don't believe in your children.
Well, I say that's amazing too.
You need to sell something good on the internet where there's cash, there's something tangible.
Like Maisie will tell me, she'll be like, "I want to be a professional dancer," and I'm like, "You don't have the body for it. You don't have the style. You know, you got to have a specific. You're not a super.
But there's not that many professional dancer jobs. That's a problem. Like,
there are. They're just not professional dancers.
Well,
professional dancers have jobs. They're just anything but professional dancers.
Professional dancers rare.
Right. You got to go to L.A., New York.
In the theme parks, there's a lot of professional dancers.
But that's a small. I mean, just in the theme park,
it is really competitive,
as opposed to a data analyst, you know what I'm saying?
Or like
any other job
for like the Magic or Solar Bears.
They barely get paid.
Yeah,
and
it's usually they have to have another job.
And insanely.
But if she wants to do it, She can.
Yeah, I'm
just
not
saying
going to
that
squash her dream yet.
You could tell her,
but I will eventually.
What you want to do is insanely hard to just prepare her for
I just tell her she's not good enough, which I figured is an easier way to do it.
You're right. Yeah.
It's easier just to be like, you're not good enough to do that.
We should tell more people that.
Well, you should, because if I tell her,
if you work as hard as you can, you'll obtain your dreams, which is not necessarily true.
He's right, but also I'm talking out of my butt for the vast majority of this entire segment. But I'll be serious for a second. Here's something I am proud that Maisie does say. I'll ask her straight up, because one of the things I was worried about is her level of confidence or her level of reality, right?
Yeah.
And I'll ask her. I'll be like, "Hey, are you the best dancer in your competitive group?" And she'll be like, "No, I'm pretty good, but I'm not the best." And I like that. I'm like, oh, God, she has a realistic idea of where she's at and where she wants to go, instead of, like, just saying, yep, I'm
the best.
I think I would have been like, yep, I'm the best, no one better, next question.
The opposite. I asked Max as I'm driving him to running class. I'm like, who's the fastest kid in your class? He's like, me. Who's the smartest? He's like, me.
I like that.
But what if he is?
Yeah, he could be.
You know?
He could be.
Well,
Maybe those are
put him
accurate
to the
answers.
test. When's the first track meet? I'll be there.
Statistics tell me different. Also,
well, you've seen your son run. How fast can he actually run?
Well,
Who's faster?
I know Daddy can run at least 15 miles
Yeah,
an hour.
I can blow the doors off him.
Yeah, you're fast.
Yeah. And
Well, I know you could beat him, but I'm saying, is he fast?
But also, like, I've done the Castleberry School math, and no way to the fastest. No way. All right, let's go. There's got to be someone around this area that goes to the school that's faster. I'll bet money on it. Anyway, all right, let's get out of here.
All right. Thanks for listening, you guys. Bye. Welcome back to A Corporate Time. And how many we got today? Like, normally we run one of the Sanford 3. Well, for
you never really know.
For like the last 3 appearances of the Sanford 3, we had the Sanford 1, and now back. This is the favorite incarnation of the 3. It's personally my favorite. Is the Sanford 2? It is Dustin and Dom. Dom, your mic's not working.
Dos, actually.
Dos.
Sanford
Dos Sanfords.
Yes.
It's Dom from the Supervillains. It's Dustin from Weston Trading Company, Celery City.
Hey,
and
I'm from Weston too.
No,
now,
I like to say from Supervillains. I like to say Supervillains.
I'm on the payroll.
I forgot he was
now,
into Supervillains.
Supervillains / West End /
Every time, like I heard, I said, "What does Dom do there?" And they said he just walks around with a clipboard. Always walking around with a clipboard, looking at everything.
That's what I do.
Yeah.
Well, I book the shows.
Yeah.
I book all the entertainment.
What new shows are passing through the halls
I've
of the
got
West
so
End?
much for you guys, man. This month is great, and so far this month we've got Horizon coming on the 14th. We've got Jen in the Right Light. Have you guys heard Jen in the Right Light, by the way?
No.
Heard of,
Really
not
good.
heard.
You got to check these guys
They're
out.
awesome.
They are very, very good.
Okay.
Probably
They're a
one of
few
my
times.
favorite locals at the moment.
All
To
right.
be honest with you.
What kind of band is that?
It's just like a rock band, dude. And
All right.
the front man has just got some personality.
Jen? Is that Jen?
No, it's not Jen.
It's confusing though with the
Yeah,
bands.
yeah,
Like
yeah.
we're
Maybe
Jen
it
of the
is.
Right
I mean,
Light, and I'm the lead singer,
Who knows?
Harvey.
It's 2022. It could.
Yeah, I
be
know. No, I'm not throwing shade either, because I don't want them to think I don't like them. But I'm just saying, it's confusing to us old folks when we see the
Seriously,
band.
like you guys should check them out. And
Okay.
all you cats out there listening, check them out. They're really good. I enjoy them.
Got it.
And I don't like a lot. I hate music, so.
Well,
I
you're
like
just
Jen.
kind of a D-head. Yeah. You're stuck in your ways.
Yeah. Also got Legendary JC's coming through on the 22nd.
Nice.
For the after party for the jazz festival.
Jazz in the Park. That's on Park in downtown Sanford, thrown by Ladies 327. I'll be out there all day, but we've got, I think, 5 bands playing out there. It's an all-day event, and then afterwards, each band is playing at one of the bars in downtown Sanford.
Oh, that's
we got
cool.
Legendary
And we get the
JCs.
JCs.
They always do jazz in the park. They should flip that on its head and do jazz in...
The garage.
There you go. I like that. Do something a little different, jazz in the psych ward.
I was in Sanford
A little jazz in the bathroom this morning.
Hey.
last weekend after the hurricane, thinking there's still some places without power. Like there's probably not going to be that many people. We were there to shower in our Airbnb, and I'll tell that story in a minute because Dustin helped me with the sink. But and I was
Are you on the T&D payroll yet? Because I feel like you're helping out a lot with that Air TV.
You know, I'm actually still waiting for my check.
Yeah.
But whenever it comes through, it's fine.
Oh my God!
Hold
Send
on.
it to info@tomanddan.com.
Hold on, because I've thought about because I've asked Dustin for a lot of favors of like, hey, could you go
So you
charge
owe him a lot of favors, huh?
But it's less in the fact that he's so close. I consider it like. It would
a
be
handyman.
It would be like opening your neighbor's back door to let his dog out.
Somebody might have left the stove on. Can you run in and go check?
Yeah.
But
It
if
was
your
2 weeks
neighbor's
ago.
out,
Like with my neighbors, Stu and Sue. I go, I think I left the garage door up. They're like, we got it.
Yeah.
They're
like,
from Canada. They're so sweet.
like, how much is closing your garage or your neighbor's garage door
No.
a
But
favor?
if it's every
Like,
other day.
yeah,
That's true. That's true.
I feel like,
or if they're standing out there to open it and to close it.
Yeah.
but 20 garage doors equals one favor. You know what I'm saying? It's a micro favor.
So these are micro favors.
So by the time,
have you been keeping a list of the favors?
Well, there's
I
been
think
like
we're at
6.
38.
Hold on,
He does
how many?
38
He has all the text
favors?
messages.
He said 38 favors, dude. That's fast. We haven't even had that thing that long.
Anyway, the Sanford was packed. I mean, there were people walking
Yeah.
around everywhere. I was like, "Whoa, my God!"
They like the outdoors. The
Sanford doesn't close.
Sanfordians?
No,
What
but
do you guys call them?
I just thought
Sanfording,
like
Sanfordites.
you know,
Sanfordites.
2 days after a hurricane, maybe
Nah.
like it wouldn't be as bad.
They
It
throw a
slammed.
hurricane party.
I know, but it.
Like a darn near record.
We had
Saturday.
a monster Saturday
It was
for our
the-
anniversary. It was
What?
crazy.
The
2
weather.
days after the hurricane,
Yeah.
Saturday we reopened, and Friday, and then Saturday night was monster night. It was crazy.
Did you notice that
because I'd be
Dom's
creeping
rocking
on
one earring? That's a man that knows how to party. Did you notice that? Oh, you have two? I thought you only had one earring. Let's get our ears pierced again. Let's you and me get our ears pierced.
I don't want to do that.
Come on, it's like we'll be real Sanfordites.
People they'll look at me like they'll double take me like you have your ears pierced.
wait a
Like,
minute.
No, and then
You consider the barn Orlando, but you don't consider me Orlando. I live here.
well, you got to do this move where people go, "Did you get your ears pierced?" And you got to take both thumbs and just go straight up to your earlobes and cover them and go, "No." That's all you say. Just go, "No," and just hold them there the entire time.
So I did ask Dustin for a wrench and a bag of vinegar. We told the story on a future show.
Bag of vinegar.
Oh, that's it's a new
I had to
trend.
go all the way to sushi and soul for the vinegar, and then you didn't even want it.
Yeah.
Well, it was rice. It was expensive, probably rice
Yeah.
wine vinegar.
It was
So,
very nice.
but
Yeah.
You like
Wait,
fixing
that's-
something and having a salad?
That's more than a minor ask there. He had to go searching for the vinegar?
well, it's,
That's more than my
it's in the
favorite.
kitchen. I said it's in there. There's wings. If
He
there's
was like-
wings, there's vinegar.
He went like vendor to vendor to find the vinegar, and he finally tracked it down.
Oh, by the way, didn't need the vinegar. And
Will you drink it?
now,
Get rid of it?
now you did. I was going to mention this, but you did a thing that I like to call handyman cockled to me,
Ooh.
where
I think that's a category I like.
because I
I've
knew
seen
you were
that.
busy. I
Go ahead
knew.
and Google that, kid.
I think right before I watched that, I saw a guy, and he was like, "Hey, do you want the best weed in Sanford? Come on down." And then I was like, "Hold on a second, I'm trying to get the handyman cockle." Shut up, Sanford weed man. I mean, you're good at all, and I like you, but like, it is that CBD weed? Because I don't
By
call
the
that
way-
weed. I call that just plants with CBD in it. Weed to me is gonna have THC in it.
Yeah.
Someone look how to advertise on Pornhub because
We-
this guy's
Tom and I
killing
been
it.
trying-
I've seen the Weed
Tom and
Gurus
I-
commercial. I know. I'm like, he's got the best weed
Yeah.
in Sanford. Then I looked it up. I was like, well, it's not even
Handyman-
really weed.
Handyman cockled, yeah. Hey, do you want the best weed in Sanford? I'm like, not right now. I'm trying to masturbate, but I'm interested.
Don't you have to call it Delta 9 or whatever the hell? I don't even know.
He
if that's
doesn't. He says
You
weed.
have to pay the state like $270 a year to make it.
He says
actual
weed.
weed. You know what I mean?
And he's got a cool name too,
I know.
Chronic Guru.
It's in jars.
Yeah.
I'm like, and then I look
I
it up.
know
I'm like,
weed.
wait a minute. Is this weed?
You don't put
I don't know
CBD in
what
jars.
I don't know what weed is anymore. Anyway,
Okay.
I thought I did.
We had to get that out of our
I'll
system.
show you here.
So handyman cockled. Is it Delta 9? By the way, it's the exact same. Everyone is the same. It's the exact same. It can't be the exact same, right?
Well, hold on a second. If I'm smoking real weed and it's got THC and that's Delta 8, then these people are smoking fake weed and it's one better. It's Delta 9 and they're saying it's exactly the same and it's legal and you can't get in trouble for it. I'm like, well, then why am I messing around with weed?
Yeah. That
Yo,
means
you gotta get that Delta 200, son.
I know. And then who is that guy? And how is he on Pornhub? And how did you get your video in front of the pornos?
and then it's in the jar. It's weed. I see it.
I know.
Oh, yeah.
CBD is a cream or a lotion in a tube, and weed, it's a green ball, it's in a jar.
Yeah, I know what fudge looks like.
Yeah,
Don't tell me.
I do know what fudge.
Yeah,
I
something
know
else
where it's
like,
made,
oh,
too.
this is fudge.
I
9.
know where fudge is made, too, and everyone knows it's round the corner.
Sometimes when I hang out with you guys, man.
What?
I'm just like, where are these guys going?
We don't even know.
Yeah.
You should have seen before you got here. We were yelling at each other.
I wanted to ask about that.
Yeah.
As we opened
Don't
the door
ask.
and Sam-
Don't we don't
Don't tell.
share it. We don't share it. We were yelling at each other.
Sam will put her head down and just look at the computer.
Sam disassociated
I
herself
said,
like
make
she
me a bird and you fly far,
She
far
went back
away.
to her childhood.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
said I was weak. I said he was a
Hey,
disorganized
stop. See,
fool.
I was thinking just because I'm thinking to myself that, I wonder if it's like me and Scart when we're going at it. Like,
Oh, I bet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no.
even though I'll tell you this, me and Scart argue maybe once every 6 to 8 months.
Yeah, we're good for about once every 3 years.
We don't really
Right?
ever
Yeah,
really
yeah.
2
argue.
years?
Like,
Yeah.
Two and a
we
half?
kind of just tell each other how we feel, and we kind of
No, when
And
in all
we move
seriousness, because the chat room they saw it, and it wasn't anything. They didn't see us yelling at each other. But in all seriousness, to make a parallel between you and Scart, it's interesting that we only typically do this, and I'd be interested to see if you guys do the same thing. Is it around tour time or new record release time?
Yeah, whenever stress.
Stress, yeah,
Right,
Yeah,
whenever
100%.
stress, But, you know,
100 I
again,
think every business does it. So if you're
you
just
just-
open about it and talk about it,
I feel like maybe what happens, which probably maybe happens to you
you go
guys,
too hard, man.
It's just you get along so well that you have little problems here and there, and then kind of after a while, and then finally it pops, and then it comes out. But yeah, I think that our problems we kind of get along so well that we just don't really, we see eye to eye on pretty much
sensitive
everything.
Dom today, my guy. Yeah, sensitive Dom.
I
was doing an
disagree.
interview. I was doing an interview the other day. We had this. We had this podcast going, and Scart was in his bunk, he's sleeping or whatever, and I started telling the guy how I don't drink anymore, how I don't really do drugs or anything. I just
Oh,
kinda
my
smoke.
God.
And all I hear is Scart go, "This interview sounds like a giant."
That's a really good Scart impression, by the way.
Yeah. And, it's, I'm about stress all the time,
Yeah.
maximum. And
I'm about
and
anxiety
Dave
all
tells
the
me
time.
how he feels about that, and I'm like, well, your feelings are absurd. and this is how it's hard
it's
being
our
my
love
husband,
language.
too.
Yeah, it's our love
Or
language.
my wife.
It's our love language.
Or husband. Because I imagine if I married a man, they'd be the emotional one, right? I couldn't marry an unemotional man. Someone's got to
It'd
be
be
emotional.
Tuttle.
Oh, he's very emotional. He's too emotional.
Yeah.
He's too emotional. So what else has been going on in... yeah, please.
Back to Cockhold Handyman.
Yeah, we
so
never finished that.
When you showed up,
I don't know if I have to cut that out.
No,
It's cuckold. And you keep saying
what? I've been searching it wrong on Google the whole
there
time.
it is.
So when you came by with the wrench, because I knew you were busy with West End, the anniversary party, and you had a lot going on. I expected you were gonna like throw the wrench on the front patio and then take off back to West End. But Dustin, he's like, I got the wrench. I got the wrench.
He'll come in there and help a lady out.
Well, then he opened it. Then he came into the house, and then he's like, "What's the problem?" And then my wife
seems to be the problem?
And my wife's just sitting on the couch, and then she's like, "Oh, hey, Dustin! Oh, Dustin's here to finish." She was excited,
Dustin.
and she never excited when I have the wrench. And then Dustin goes into the bathroom, and then I have to do that thing where I hold the flashlight,
let me hold the flashlight.
just like I'm holding the camera. You see what I'm saying? And Dustin's like
That's pretty
unscrewing
good.
the faucet, and then he's like, I used to be a plumber. I'm like, what?
I didn't know that. Wow.
And then my wife's sitting there.
I used to be a plumber.
Watching him, and then Dustin's and I'm just standing there. I'm like, I'll hold the light.
It's not even a mag light either, is it?
It's a
like
light
one of
the bathroom we're on. I didn't need the light.
stupid LED flashlight.
And then he takes off, he unscrews. He's like, what the problem is, the aerators, someone took it off. He's like, definitely, and that's when I lied. He's like, definitely, so your listener took it off to smoke weed off. And I'm like, oh, yeah. By the way, you don't know,
take the screen out or something.
I'm the one who broke the screen earlier, and I was trying to hide it from my wife.
Why would you invite this guy in and then tell him that you lied? Like,
No, I'm just telling
casually.
him. But I'm just saying.
It's one of your clients, too. It's not like good to be like, by the way, I lied to you about that.
Then he was telling my wife where to go to Lowe's to buy this particular part. He's telling the SKU number.
It's on aisle. Well, you can look it up now.
I guess I'll just do nothing. I'm supposed to be the guy that handles all the problems here.
And
anyway.
did you feel like I mean, like, you could have taken that as an opportunity to do something that you wanted to do. So it must have been important for you to look good in that.
I felt like I was eating the spoon.
Yeah, okay.
You know what I mean?
Dr. Bob's scenario. Yeah.
Anyway, I'm just throwing it out there.
There's a video where
so
the
I'm taking,
guy...
taking that favor away.
Oh, my God, 34.
Because it did more harm than good.
34.
Sorry.
Hey, I saw we got a golf cart.
Oh,
I got pictures.
Yeah.
I went and picked it up yesterday. Yeah. It's really nice.
Now, can we talk about it? Looks great. It's wrapped great, but it's got bright blue Smurf seats.
Oh, yeah.
Who put the bright blue Smurf seats on? It doesn't even match the decor.
Well, it was blue before. It was Paul's old golf cart, and it was blue, and then we changed it to red, but then when there's a supply chain issue with the golf cart seats, with the vinyl, because I did say, and then also there's to wrap it and then paint the ceiling and then the seats.
There's a lot going on. I mean, it's very custom. I was impressed.
So I'm like, well, people will be sitting on the seat, so when it's driving, you won't really see the blue seats.
The first comment was some guy, hey, look at your blue seats, and he did the chef's kiss emoji. And I know that was ironic.
Oh, yeah.
You weren't doing that to say, like, chef's kiss, the blue matches it. You were doing it to goof on our golf cart.
Yeah, I figured with our listeners sitting on it, they'll hide the seats.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm sorry. Except for the ones with AIDS.
They're
very skinny.
Today's done more harm than good.
It really has.
Should have just left early. One day early. Yesterday was great. Anyway, sorry. So
yesterday was actually a really good day. A great day.
Yeah. But that was it. That was the last good one.
That's all we had. That's all I had to take. I was like, I'm out.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, got a new puppy?
I did get. He's already changing. He's the host now, and he's like, I don't want to talk about what you guys are weirdos. So tell us about your new puppy, Dad.
Well, because I got a new puppy as well.
What'd you get?
We got a new miniature dachshund. So we have two now, and it is pretty wild stuff.
Puppies are fun, man. Like, I forgot though that. Absolutely. First thing I forgot about is how absolutely insanely painful it is to be when there's little in the back, their back molars. If you get your hand in there or you're grabbing a toy or something and it just happen to get you with their tiny puppy teeth, it's so painful. You see white like you're having a heart attack or something. It's like, ah! Like,
I keep having to hide my nose because I know when Sugar, the other one we have, she's two. She's 2 this week actually. When she was a puppy, she ripped my nose open on more than one occasion.
Oh my God!
Because her little puppy teeth are so sharp and just go in, and when they go in, your natural reaction is to because it hurts. Yeah. And when you do that, literally it rips my nose open.
Dom, let me ask you because you're a real man.
Most real men get their nose ripped off by puppies.
Miniature wiener dog.
Why? That's what I look for when I look for strength in men.
Why'd you buy this animal that lives in your house now? That eventually you'll have to buy chemo for it or whatever. I'm just saying, because I'm astounded every time someone buys.
Man, I can't wait to go to Tom again. For listeners with AIDS
so when your dog gets cancer,
we're very negative today. We had a fight, so we're getting our negativity out.
Just explain it. To what joy does it bring? Does it bring you enough joy to compensate for the amount of work and effort and money spent and
it's a lot of work.
poo-poo and pee-pee?
You guys are crazy, man.
My dog's 14.
Absolutely not.
I am not getting another pet after my dog's gone.
Yeah.
I'm over it.
I think there are cycles of that, right?
I'm over it.
I had
she has to go out every 4 hours.
Hershey, when whatever, how many years ago was it? Probably.
You're a Dotson guy, right? That's your breed?
Yeah.
Well, how did that happen?
So I always wanted miniature dachshunds. My ex-wife wanted miniature dachshunds.
I didn't know you were married before.
We had we had Soda and Hershey, and I had them for 14 years around. And then I was like, I don't want any more pets because
that's the cycle. Yeah, that's the cycle you go through.
It killed me, not because I was like, oh, this is a pain, but it killed me when they both passed away.
Yeah, that's right.
And then we got Sugar, and immediately my heart had healed, and I was so stoked. But absolutely,
I was going to die again, though. Yeah, not the dog, your heart. I'm not because of the dog.
Yeah.
No, that's what I always do. Like, why am I doing this again to myself?
Yeah, I mean, it is self-torture.
5% more joy in life.
Yeah, I'd go higher than 5.
Every penny, every little bit.
Is your wife now? Is she into the dogs as much as you are?
Absolutely. The reason why we got a second one is because she wanted to have 2 again.
And no kids for you? So, not asking to put pressure either. Just not in. I know that's sort of a rude question.
I told my mom to stop calling you.
Yeah. But I know moms get like that. My mom
is. Her mom is.
Because you're not getting any younger, dude.
Man, you guys are excellent today.
Yeah.
I can't wait to get out of here.
Can I leave with you guys?
I can see it right right here. I can see the gray.
Yeah, but
Your dog's gonna die. You're getting old.
Yeah, but then
You're not going to
I
be
hold
heard-
on, a man can sire.
Wait till you give them
They
chemo.
can, but I heard you get your sperms get a little like.
yeah.
Reading that Tom and Dan's listeners.
The
have a
good
higher
ones
suicide
get to the
rate. I
end.
didn't notice
Yeah,
that.
but the bad
Larry
ones-
King had a kid. He's got like
That's
a.
disgusting.
Is it Larry King still alive?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
No.
Did he
Yeah.
die recently?
No.
Did he die during like the past 2 years? And
Well,
he
if
got
Corona didn't get him, I mean, that he's
2021.
Oh,
yeah.
Maybe it
Last
was. Was it
January.
Corona?
But he,
Probably.
he got like a 13-year-old or whatever.
Yeah.
Like he was in his 90s anyway.
We're outside. We're
Anyways,
dabbing.
to answer your question, yeah, man, every little bit is worth it. They absolutely improve your quality of life, I feel like.
Yeah. How much? 5%,
A lot,
10%?
man. Like, I think a lot. Like, yeah,
I'd go higher than 5.
For a person who may have depression or a person who has, needs some support once in a while, I think it's absolutely...
Well, what does it do to support you? It runs up to you and holds my balls.
Let's
like,
say
give
you've
me
been
food. I'm
listening
like,
to the Tom and Dan podcast and you were upset and wanted to kill yourself because all they talk about is
Well,
negative
drive
crap.
well, that's why they listen. Where's my dog?
And
I
then
listen
you
to this
see your
crap.
dog
Where's my
and it
Tom and
makes you
Dan dog?
happy, and then before you know it, you can listen to the show
Oh
again.
my God, I'm so depressed. I need my podcast dog.
Right.
I guess that's what I like. How does it make you happy? It's just
It
running
just
around.
gives you enjoyment. There's something about it. I can't explain.
Do you have a routine that you like? Do you have certain things you do with your dog that's like you guys, are you like, do you drive around? Do you go
No, we
to
don't drive
the
around.
art fair? Do
in the
you
morning when we wake up?
take a walk?
Let her out and let her run around. Then she'll come in and I'll feed her. And then me and Brianna will have coffee. And while we're having coffee, the dog and I will play because the dog is just like, all right, it's like
Right,
it's time
right.
to go, and
So what are you doing? Are you doing the rope thing,
Pull
tug
the
of
rope,
war?
tug of tug.
Is that fun?
let's go tug of tug.
Because I'm like tug of war. I'm like I'm way stronger than you. I mean,
Oh,
you'll
yeah,
never
I'd be
win.
slinging her
You know what I'm
across
saying?
the room. I gotta show her
what
who's
kind of
boss.
contest is this?
It's like a helicopter. Yeah, man.
Yeah, the ones
those
that he
towels?
likes.
Yeah.
And then
So,
you fetch. You play fetch.
A lot of fetch. Yeah, a lot of fetch. Just chase
It's
around.
not that different than you and your kids playing Monster. Got him.
You're right. Yeah, it's the same thing, I guess.
Yeah, I guess I would say that the benefits you get from that are probably the same for Dom.
Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
And you could beat up your children, but you don't.
But then
it's not a contest.
But then I feel like my kids will always remember their original dad, even if there's other dads after.
Yeah, I'm expecting
the
other
dog
dads.
will. I feel like he'll forget, and whoever's new owner is like, I'll play with this one.
I do feel like dogs will do that.
Yeah,
dogs.
Here's a great
It's just an
example.
animal.
I was gone for 2 weeks just now, and after of course wanting to see my wife, but wanting to see my dog was the very next step. Not like, oh, I can't wait to see my bed. No, I can't wait to see my dog. Can't wait to see my wife.
No, I get it. I'm just joking around.
I was gone for a
people
week
are
and
like,
I
this
didn't
guy's a
service.
monster. I'm just messing around.
I don't think they think you're messing around.
I
Some
know.
are like, is he being serious? I'm not sure. I can't
I
I
tell.
think you're a monster and a bad liar.
I'm just
Yeah,
going the opposite
absolutely.
way. We're going to go the other way and be like, oh, that's awesome. A cute dog. Let me see a
that's
picture.
great.
Can I
You
look
guys
at
don't
your
have a
picture of your dog? By the way, don't show me pictures of your dog
You don't
or
have a
kids.
dog?
We
They
had
did.
one.
They did up until like what, like maybe 7 years. 7 years.
Yeah,
ago
I was
or
giving
something?
it laser treatments with that and
Yeah.
goggles on. And it was
What about
pain
your dog,
pills.
though? You're into it, huh?
Yeah, I love it. I mean, like, it's good for me, but I still got my mom's dog. I still got her, and they're sort of getting along. They've gotten to this point now, which is kind of interesting, where and it's working out like exactly how I think it's supposed to, where the veterinarians tell you. But Maggie has scared Dansby so much, the little puppy, that like now they walk around each other, but it's like in like circles of space, like she has her zone that he won't come into and he has his, and they just kind of navigate the house, but they don't mess with each other. So it's, so far so good. It's working.
It's very cute.
Well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm asking my wife to send over a video she took this morning, and you'll understand.
See,
why.
he will not.
Like,
That's
He
where
just
you're wrong.
said he didn't want to see pictures of
That
dogs.
is the cutest freaking thing I've ever seen in my life. That's what
This is gonna
This
going to insult so many people, because especially our listeners, because they've done it like nice people
Oh,
that I
they love
really
people
enjoy.
like their dogs, man.
And they're proud of their families, and their dogs are their families.
I'm just saying, every single time anybody shows me a picture of their dogs or animals of any sort or kids.
Or kids, I knew that. Wait for
I
that one, yeah.
am just staring at it.
Nothing there.
And in my head, I'm counting to 8 Mississippis because that's the amount of time.
Hold on, that's too long. One Mississippi, 2 Mississippi, 3. You got to give them 3 and then you're out. You give them 8, you're a pedophile.
I'm just
So
saying.
you don't show people pictures of your kids, or you're not.
He doesn't really know that, no.
Because I
doesn't really
assume
do
they're
that.
like me and they don't care. Jay Cutler. I'm just saying. I just feel like no one cares really about
I mean, you're
anybody
probably
else.
right. I wouldn't.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
I mean, I like dogs. I don't like kids.
Yeah,
so
you're
I
not
like
a kid
dogs.
guy yet.
I like
And
to
but
see
if someone
pictures
should
of
be,
dogs,
yeah.
But you
I
like your
kids.
own dog. Same thing with kids. I like my own kids.
No,
I don't
but
like
he
anybody
did
else's kids.
specifically give me a compliment when he came in, which
True.
again is very unlike Dom. Not because I think you're a D head, but you know your DJ name is DJ Dom's a D. So like to me, I'm like, I think why did he say that to me? Was he lying?
What,
was
the
it small
dog's
talk?
cute?
Yeah.
No.
How would you explain that away?
No, because that's
He's weak.
No, it's a canned response that I've learned that too. It's
So it's just a reactionary small talk.
It's like a how are you doing? It's like
how's the weather today? Oh, it's great weather.
Hey, sorry, dog. He's cute.
Yeah, because you get
Again,
just like,
these are something I'm interested in, so I can understand why someone who's interested in something would want to show somebody something they're interested in if they think they are like-minded, I guess.
You know something I'm interested in?
Again, like I don't want to see pictures of your kids. I don't care.
You're right.
I
You're
don't
right.
like kids.
Yeah, listen, if someone shows me awesome bet they made last week, I'll be like, oh, this is a good job.
I mean, like,
so I get it. You're interested in what you're interested in.
Dan and I were talking about our like baseball hats when I first walked in.
Yeah,
Again, it's something he's obviously interested
Yeah,
in.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I'll talk about.
Yeah, I have on
So
my.
it's just like anything else in life, I guess. If you're not interested in something, then of course you're not going to care when someone's showing you something.
Here's
Yeah,
something
but it seems like you're a D head if you aren't interested in it. Because
I was actually just thinking to myself how kind of like-minded you and I are, because you're just saying how you feel, and that's why people think I'm a D, because I just say how I feel, and you're just telling me that you don't care about dogs, and that's okay.
But if you feel like a D head,
I feel like a D head.
I just feel like people confuse being a D head with just being
I don't.
Be up for or
forthright.
direct, or have an opinion.
That's my problem. I just don't sometimes know when to keep it inside my
Sometimes
brain.
just having well, I think everybody has that problem.
Well,
now and
I'm pretty
again.
bad about it.
Well, but that's you bring up a good point about like personality traits, because I know a lot of people that are just like they tell you the truth, and then people are like, that guy's a dick, like, just because he's like telling you. But it's like, don't you want the truth? Like, you know what I'm saying?
I mean,
Like,
right? Because don't you want the truth? I want people lying to my face.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, but a lot of
what
people-
a great show! Like, man, that was the worst show I've ever played. What a terrific show!
Have
No.
somebody said that to you?
Like no, I'm just thinking to myself, like, if I have a super bad show and I know
Right.
there's something wrong, like something absolutely wrong.
Right.
I don't want somebody coming up and telling me everything was great. Like that's
No,
not
I don't think
helpful.
anybody would want that.
That's
No,
not
you don't want
helpful at
people
all.
just pandering to
or
tell
like
you.
you cook something for somebody and it's terrible, and they're like, "Oh, this is terrific." You know, like why lie? You know, like
Well, just don't say anything, I guess, right?
that's what I'm saying. Sometimes,
Or if
I
they
just
do,
say,
though, but
you
if they
know.
do, you go, it's not my thing, right? Something
Sometimes
like that.
I just be like, "Oh man, that is terrible."
that's how I feel inside. I get you, Dom.
Never again.
It is another corporate time with Tom and Dan. I'm Dan.
I'm Tom.
Samantha, our producer's here. Hello, Sam.
Hi.
We have guests on the couch, but before we get to them, let's get some plugs out of the way. And I'm not talking the ones that I think I need hair plugs, buddy.
What are you talking about? You have a perfect head of hair.
I don't. Look, hold on. I'll show you.
Well, it's perfect.
No, look at that. On the sides, I'm getting the recede.
Well, everybody
That I
on
see.
the sides, that's normal.
Well, I'm going to fix that.
We can't change that.
I'm going to fix that with modern medicine, and I'm going to fill it in. I'm going to get the Puerto Rican dots, the little, the tattoos.
The little triangle on the side.
I'm going to get the Puerto Rican, the little tattoos.
That's normal. And then that's
It's
just,
coming way back. Like there's a specific baseball
No.
player that I think I'm getting his hair, the Matt Olson, where it's pulling back on the sides, and then if you let your hair grow in the center, then you get a chicken poof.
Well, you get the island.
Yes, and I don't want to do that.
That
But,
comes.
hey, you're telling me I'm not getting that. I guess I'm okay. All right, to plugs. Now, regular plugs. What do we got?
So we've got our Bad at Business Beer Fest coming up October 19th.
19th, not the 18th like we've been saying for the past 2 months. 19th.
Completely free, over 40 breweries right now. Yep. I confirmed with Dustin. And
Dustin also confirmed Jack Daniels, free Jack Daniels.
Yeah. Which I
it's going to get crazy.
Yeah, it is going to, and that is in the historic downtown Sanford L area, and that's between West End Trading Company and Celery City. But yeah, 40 beers on tap.
Yeah. Oklahoma Stackhouse.
I'm not going to confirm this, but Tom, there were other people kicking around, and this is a real thing. They were kicking around a little thing by the name of Tapzilla. Not confirmed, but I heard Tapzilla. Jack Daniels is confirmed, so you'll have that. The CBE guys have a little area in Tom and Dan Vendor Village area, so you can come through there and get new merch.
Food trucks. We've got Orlando Music Syndicate DJing before Oklahoma Stackhouse comes on.
Oklahoma Stackhouse, full band with horns, and as long as you have an ID, which I'm going to stress it again, all that we ask is you be polite and bring an ID. That's it. And then you'll get a wristband, get your sample cup, and go inside.
We're going to start giving out sample cups at noon. We're also selling full pour for charity for Yellow Brick Road Foundation. 100% of the proceeds go to that. And then the pouring actually starts at 2. So you get your sample cup, put it in your pocket just to make sure you get one. Mm-hmm. Walk around, get some beers at Celery City, West End, Wild Wild West End. I mean, there's a million.
Yeah, it's just, there's almost too many places to go. And trust me, there's going to be too many drinks. If anybody drinks every stop, you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it.
And then,
I beg to differ.
Okay, all right.
People have tried.
Yeah, somebody calm the wild man down. Couch wild man is crazy.
Well, one year, it's been a miracle we haven't gotten sued yet. I think it's coming, though.
I think the year...
It's like winter in Game of Thrones.
Yeah, it is coming. I think the year we did it at Johnny's, that Mooney may have had every beer. Steve Mooney?
The first year we did this, it were poured rain, so it kept people away. So there was only, I would say, everybody could have had a free 2 gallons of beer.
Yeah.
That's how much. There was no lines in front of all the beer vendors we had. So people were they're like, "Hey, have more." We don't want to take this home. People were puking on the sidewalks.
It was so bad.
They were passed out all over Johnny's tables.
Somebody fell asleep at a table at Johnny's while the band was scream playing in their face, and the guy's just so dead.
And then
dead.
I'm like, "Oh my god, we gave too much." Like we don't have insurance. We got nothing. I'm pretty sure
we still don't have a gym.
I'm going to be sitting in court, and they're going to be like, "Hold on, you gave away 2 gallons of beer just to anybody who showed up,
just random people when they showed their ID." We're like, "Yes, we did."
And then they crashed into the school bus, and then I'm like, "Yes, we did." Anyway. Sorry.
So if you like that kind of party, it's coming up.
November 19th. Then Sofa and Suds the next day.
The following day.
Sanford, Sofa.
We take over Sanford and we crush it. Okay, let's talk about, I think the last time we talked to this guest, the last time we talked to Brittany was it right before COVID?
I think it was right before COVID. Was it the Anarchy? What we were talking about, or was it?
No,
that was before COVID. I swear, I haven't seen you in 2 years.
It's been like 2 years,
almost 3.
It's almost been 3 years since we've seen Brittany.
That's got to be happening to everybody. Where they're starting, I haven't seen you since before COVID. I'm like,
December 2018.
That long? It's supposed to be 2023.
That's nuts.
And we were talking about what we're talking about today, the trans care packages.
Yeah, trans care packages.
It does not seem that long. I would have bet a lot of money that it was. If someone said over and under 2 years, I would have said, "Oh yeah, way under."
Well, I mean, it's just that time it's so compact, and all the memories are sort of similar, I guess, which maybe intensifies them and speeds them up in some way. But Brittany had come in here, and you were talking about this 5013C that you have, this charity you have called Transitional Space.
Yeah. We finally got legit. We finally got our 501c3 this year. So
awesome.
That's I knew that was something you were like shooting for. Finally got it done. It can be a lot of hoops. It can be a lot of red tape. A lot of
it was surprisingly
files.
It was a lot of hoops.
Tell me it was easy after I said that.
It was very little. It was very easy.
Okay.
Hold on. How easy is it?
Well,
you fill out a form? Is it just a form?
Yeah, it's basically just a form, and you pay money. I was looking.
It was digital. I did it in 35 seconds.
Everything with the government is a form, and you pay the money. I think you can get anything. Business license, and it doesn't even matter if you live in the county or have a business. You can get a business license, form, and money.
Yeah, that's absolutely true.
But I thought the charity, they were like, wait a minute, Scientology got us once. So, whatever.
Shut it down.
I thought they there would be some sort of vetting process
Well,
to form
that's
and
a
money.
religion, not a charity.
So let's talk about last time you were in here and you were collecting these care packages for, was it, and refresh my memory, for new trans people that needed stuff?
Yeah, well, like just trans people kind of in general.
Yeah.
You know,
we were getting like toothpaste, right?
Yeah, toothpaste, hygiene stuff. Some people like just started their transition, so they needed like clothes.
They need toothpaste and clothes?
Yeah.
What? I like being surprised that we were like, what? Toothpaste, clothes?
Yeah,
I had no idea.
I was nude for the first full 6 months.
Yeah, I know. A lot of people don't know that trans people start their journey with absolutely, it's like
they're people like everybody else.
Walking up with the hobos.
Exactly. I got nothing. So, but yeah, you were getting the normal stuff. Well, a lot of people are going to ask this question. So why? Why do we need care packages for trans folks? Why do they need them? Why? Give me an example.
Yeah, it's the same. Like, I actually got the idea from being in the military. You know, like getting that care package in the military. It gives you that like morale boost, really.
Yeah.
And just to know somebody's thinking about you somewhere, even if it's not from, a family member, somebody just somewhere is thinking about you, like makes you feel gives you the warm and fuzzy.
And something you can use, something that's going to remind you, not just something fleeting,
cares,
not just a card, but something actual that adds benefit to your life.
Yeah, I think we talked about this last time. Like, if sometimes people get ostracized by their families, or they
if you can't live in your house, then you probably don't have toothpaste because your dad kicked you out.
There's things like that happen. And then people just need basic necessities because
that breaks my heart to think that somebody went from having everything to now having nothing just because their parents or who they thought was their support staff completely turned their back on them and said, "Yo, just because I don't like, for whatever reason, whatever's happening here, you're out." Mm-hmm. Well, that. That's garbage.
Yeah, or going through like deciding between buying HRT this month, like buying my estrogen this month, or buying food, buying clothes. Like, I'm gonna take my estrogen first before I pay for anything else.
Because you're trying to really be you.
Yeah.
And we decided to kind of blow this up and make it a legit thing, which it sounds easy, but we made it pretty hard. It took us several weeks to get done. I'm Dale, by the way. I'm an ally. Britt's my cousin, but we've been best friends since birth, basically.
That's crazy.
Little proton pack Ghostbuster action in Halloween's and all that kind of good stuff.
But, so you've actually been here, and you've actually been part of Brittany's journey.
Yeah, because what's it been now? 12 years or so?
Yeah.
Something like that?
Maybe a little bit more than that.
And it's been quite a journey, and having seen it firsthand, like that, like you were saying, like the people that are supposed to care about you, they're like, "What? That can't happen."
I know.
Well, and it's unfortunate because you even have parents going, "I've lost my son, I've lost my daughter."
Garbage.
I'm like, "No, you didn't. Just close your eyes, and it's the same person." Like it goes like, what makes a person? Their outer skin or what's inside their dome? You know what I mean?
Yeah, sounds like my dad.
I mean, I can play Brittany's dad if you want me to as a character, but I don't. I'll save that.
Yeah,
write that down. Write that down.
Bad. I don't know.
What does he sound?
What does he sound like? Tom's right.
I know.
It sounds like Tom yelling.
Yeah, I think we're good.
I haven't
grew up hearing that. I think.
You're supposed to be X, and it's like, but just let people live their lives. If it's not hurting you, what do you care? Right? Can't you just like seek first to understand people, then try to be understood yourself? Like, why do we have to? What does it matter to you?
And I think go ahead.
There's so many people that say they're ride or die, and then they're not like, this is ride or die. Once you say that, you can't be like, I'm getting off the ride because I don't like who you turned into. No. If you get off the ride, it's die. So,
if you get off the ride, you die.
So if you're, and that's I never understood with like parents too. Which
hold on one second.
Now I've never been through a situation, so how can you ever say it? Because it's easy to say on one side too, like, oh, this is how I react, and there's that. But I truly feel in my heart, whatever my sons want to do, I'm ride or die to the fault of serial killer, anything.
Right.
Anything. I'll be like, no, we gotta save you. We gotta hide you from the cops. Like it's ride or die for me.
Yeah.
And so that's what it is with my family, my friends, and then so it's like most of it is ignorance and not understanding, and then a lot of it too. And what I've realized over time, just like I realized how I was grew up and not exposed to a lot of things, like even homosexuality. Like in the 80s and 90s, no one had talked about it. You weren't exposed to it. You didn't see. I mean, like, you know, and now, like, my kids it's so normalized to them that they have no problem with it. And I was like, oh, this is what needed to be changed. Now this is normal to them, and therefore not a thing to them. It's never going to be a thing.
You bring up a really interesting point in that before I had kids and when I was in my 20s and like just navigating regular relationships, I remember thinking, and I think everybody has a normal thought of like, oh man, how am I going to explain sex to my kid? How am I going to explain homosexuality to my kids? How am I going to explain anything, right? X to my kids. But what's funny is I haven't had to do any of that because, like May, her best friend's got 2 moms. It's not a thing. I don't have to say nothing. It's just living. She's just living it. It's just a thing. It's just a normal thing. It's not even a thing that we talk about because it's not even a. I don't even know what I'm trying to articulate, but you know what I mean. Yeah, it's like we're living it, so I don't need to do. It's not a hard dad task. I don't need to do anything.
But also, it seems so easy to explain to my sons, and they got it super easy, and they moved on. Like literally, I told them, I'm like, hey, you know, some people like girls, some people like boys, some people don't like either. Yeah. Some people,
don't like themselves. There's a lot of things.
Some people want to become a girl, and some people want to become a boy. There's, you know, and then they're like, all right. And then I'm like, and then it moves on. They're like, can I play Roblox now? Like, and then I'm like, yes. So it's like it seemed. Now I'm explaining it like a Florida dodo. I'm sure, you know, but
you're not far off.
But just that aspect, it seems so easy for them to get. You know, now I can understand, like, if you grew up in a different environment, then it may be more confusing to you. But you got to be cognizant of, because it was the environment you grew up that you grew up a certain way, and so then now it's shocking.
You may not be open to it,
But the generations, and that's what gives me the most hope, is because my sons and then the future generations and stuff, that it just becomes normalized, and then no one's going to have to deal with this.
It is very elegant how they navigate it, and it makes me so cute and happy. Like when you see kids that, you know, when you see how they react without the strange prejudice and stigmas that we've collected as we've lived. When you see them kind of dance through things, you're kind of like, wow, you're good, man. How do you do that?
Yeah.
Wow,
you know how easy it is to break it down? Just be like, hey, God got it wrong and gave you the wrong exterior that doesn't match your interior, right? And so we have a chance to kind of make that what it's supposed to be. And I don't know why society has such a problem with your exterior. Like I said, if you close your eyes, you know, it's still the same person you've known for.
Don't bring God into this.
Oh God! Oh God!
How did he get it wrong? I thought it was God. Now you got a whole bunch of other questions. Why don't you be like?
Also, it might be the first time I've ever seen a person say God was wrong.
Yeah, because then you're like, hold on, God was wrong. I thought he was. Wait a minute here. How can he be wrong?
I am a wild man, Dan.
You're crazy, Dale.
How can it be like this person wants to do this? Good. Like, let him be happy. Let everybody be happy.
Exactly. Be cool, bro.
Let me ask you guys this.
Hope for everybody's happess.
What is saying? Don't worry, be happy.
He is. He's absolutely saying
Put that on a shirt.
Write that
and
down.
then write a dash and then write God. So what is the hardest? So now, like, since the last time we talked to you, how did the care package at that time when you did it? How did it go? Did it do pretty well, or not as good as you had hoped, or
not as good as I had hoped, because it was just me doing the whole thing. So I was trying to coordinate with everybody, find people who could who wanted the packages, find all the stuff for it. So it was pretty rough, because it was just
word of mouth is like to get the word out in and of itself is like one of the hardest things to do, and that's why, you know, when Britt and I were talking a couple months back, like, I'm like, hey, if you've kind of inspired me to help people, so, you know, I have some business tools. Like, I might not be as good as Bernie is for y'all, but I do have some accounting skills that I can.
No, I'm kidding.
But I do
have to talk to that guy. Oh my God, my taxes! Oh my God,
new phone.
What? Oh no!
But I do have a reminder set for our license, so I don't have that penalty. Like,
I still don't have
Sunbiz.
Sunbiz.org.
We got to use that money too. That's a lot of money.
Speaking of Sunbiz, okay.
You didn't do it.
No.
And I didn't pick up the trophy. I know. That old lady's calling me crazy.
But we also decided to expand it out beyond just the care packages. And correct me if I'm wrong, Britt, if I get this wrong, I apologize, but it's home, health, community, and purpose, right? So we can tackle all fronts, pre and post transition. We can also help allies, right? Those that might they want to understand what the person they care about is going through, but it's kind of like therapy. Like, you have to have somebody else kind of help you process that a little bit.
Yeah.
And so, like me, like I was telling you before the show, Dan, like, it's taken me, I wanted to understand, and, caring is half the battle.
Yeah.
Like, no BS.
Oh, write that down.
Right? Caring.
And then write G.I. Joe.
Right.
Damn it.
I think yeah. But, like, it's definitely, like, just caring and trying to understand. And on the flip side, right, when people are trying to understand, let's make sure we can help them understand whatever it is that they're missing, so to speak.
Yeah.
But,
What's the hardest part that you guys have to deal with, or what do you need the most, would you say?
What do you think, Lee?
A lot of stuff. So money for one. We need donations to help us. Even getting a Zoom, like a HIPAA, like, because I'm a counselor. That's my daytime job, and I want to do that with transitional space, but we have to have like a HIPAA compliant Zoom kind of thing, and that costs money. So all this stuff costs money.
Did you have to get the posters? I had to buy those.
They emailed me. I was like,
ours ain't our bathroom.
I had Tom in the back of my head saying, "You don't need that crap."
I don't think we.
I don't think me and Britt and my wife need those posters between the three of us, because our board is 3 people deep. And
we're tangenting a lot today, but that's fine. This is tangential space here for me.
Hey, write that down, B. Write that down, B.
So I have always said, and I still believe this, there are 2 things that I believe wholeheartedly. Number 1, you can mayonnaise a sandwich and put it in the sun out there for a full day. I'm talking 6 a.m. to 5 p.m., and I'll eat the sandwich at 5 p.m., and nothing will happen to me. And the other thing is, I could run this business of podcasting and radio with all the clients that we've done, that you and I have done for the last 12 years, without a business license, and be totally fine. No one's going to do nothing. We're not going to do no lawsuits. The government's not going to come and get us. As long as we're paying our taxes, everything, whatever. Like, no license. Don't need the license.
So is the best way to donate going to transitionalspace.us? Is that the best way for people to help?
Yeah, transitionalspace.us or .info.
And the Patreon as well. But
nice.
I can't remember the / after that piece. Like, we were able to just get that secured, right?
Well, no, we've had a Patreon for...
Whoops.
That's okay. We do it all the time. It just means you're unprepared. It's fine.
All you need is kind of the gist of what the business. Everything else is fine.
Somebody to say no, and then you go, well, you do it.
You got an account. You write the tax number up on top of the whiteboard, and then you forget it every time.
While B looks up the Patreon, I think one of the best ways is we have an event coming up on October 13th out at Blaze Pizza in Winter Park.
Nice.
Just come out and just mention Transitional Space, and you obviously get some great pizza, but then they contribute some funds to help us out, right?
Awesome.
Because we've tried to partner up with other nonprofits or business, and some businesses are still, it's a taboo topic, which is unfortunate.
Yeah.
And what's unfortunate too, nonprofits don't want to partner up with us because they look at it like we're cannibalizing their clientele, and that's not the case. I'm like, we can help each other out. We bring our group, you bring your group, and we can help each other, because there is something to be said about people that, have struggled. You don't have to have the exact same to understand what it's like to struggle.
That is true.
And it, just helping people out. Like, if we can all just take care of each other, why not? Who does it matter who it's benefiting more or less or what have you?
Yeah, that brings me up. That's the one thing we need too is local businesses who want to partner with us to help like provide these care packages and provide counseling too.
I think the counseling is top tier, man. Like,
absolutely,
I just think that's
dude. Mental health is so huge.
Yeah, and that's going to be hard. I mean, I really admire the fact that you guys have chosen something that seemingly so difficult to work on, but we need people like you to do that. Because I'm far too lazy and unmotivated to help people.
You actually helped inspire me to get my mental health game back up, and Britt's phenomenal in terms of counseling. she's a great listener. She's also got some great advice if you need it. But
do you use like kind of your, because I'm sure you're not just dealing with people that are going through maybe their transitional journey or whatever. I mean, you could counsel anybody for anything, but I mean, it probably gives you a lot of perspective knowing how difficult and how hard you've had to work to get to where you've been, because we've even seen you kind of, become a more authentic version of you. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Yeah, I definitely use my own story. One of the unique things with me is like I'm a peer counselor, so I have it's kind of different versus a therapist. So a therapist, they're not supposed to be able to it's not appropriate for them to share like their personal story.
They don't like to do that.
But I can come in and I can share my, I can share.
Ooh, that's a deeper connection, I think.
Yeah, I can talk about my substance use. I can talk about my transition. I can talk about my self-harm experiences, my mental health experiences.
Right.
I like that.
Yeah.
And then
you like the self-harm or the sharing?
But then you get to look at that somebody won. Like, I can look at you and be like, but look, I'm okay. And then that's inspiring.
I want to hear it from you, too. Like, it's like having a big fat trainer.
You know what? He's got a point.
Like,
he does have a solid point.
They're like, get down there and do those push-ups. And I'm like,
what have you done? You can't wait to talk about crap. He's right.
Absolutely.
You look at Brittany and you're like, oh, man, Brittany's done. Excuse me. I'm sorry. My God, Sam, I got inspired.
But it's like if my
I got inspired.
If my stepdad,
I love it.
If my stepdad was your counselor and trying to work you through transitioning, he's not going to be the best one to talk to you about it. I'm saying,
you just got to do that.
Why don't you just get it right?
Like, why don't you just get out there? Don't you like boobies?
Well, and that's why I'm here too, so I can help the other people.
That's probably awful.
You can still like boobies.
No, I was just saying.
I like boobies like me.
That's not exclusive.
Nobody doesn't understand anything.
So
that's what I'm saying.
You probably heard one or two of these where you got one of these where you're like, you want to do what?
Yeah,
probably got one or two of those. But,
he screamed that at me when I told him I liked X-Men when I was a kid. Anyway,
I want to be Wolverine when I grow up.
So, what's the easiest way to donate? Do you have a direct way to just jump on the link on your page?
Yeah. If you go to transitionalspace.info, I think it's go to about us. I'm top down.
I'll tell you. You go to transitionalspace.info.us. What is it? Is it .us? Where do you get that?
GetItRight.org. Go to patreon.com/transitionalspace.
Okay. You donate through Patreon.
Even better than that. So, because Patreon takes like a little cut out of the money. So if you go to the website, go to About Us and support us, you can click through and find the links.
Yeah, it's easy. It's right on the top. I went through. If you search
there's a donation button. Also, if you go to Facebook and look up Transitional Space, there's also all the links on the side there. So there's the websites, the Patreon, all that.
Oh, it's like send money to a friend on PayPal. Every time I do it, I'm like, take that, Uncle Sam.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
I like how easy they're like, what is this? Was this something you bought? I'm like, it absolutely was. And I'm like, but wait, I'm going to click it was not.
Casey is technically our friend.
Yeah.
He does these editing stuff, and which is why, but I'm sending money to a friend.
Thanks, friend.
But what's hard too is like some people, they wonder what you're going to do with the money. You know what I mean? And it's like, a few bad apples have spoiled the bunch, and it's like, well, just come out and see. Like, we'll show you firsthand.
Tom and I feel really bad about all those fake charities we started early on, and we did a lot of bad in this town.
If you just say charity, they'll give you money. You're like, I'm rich.
Well, to be honest, I didn't know what the word meant, and I feel like if you don't know what the word means and you're just using it, and people are giving you money, that can get like very problematic and scary.
Right.
So,
there is a thing about that. Even people were doing it during the hurricane too.
They are right now, dude. God. They're busting people right now that are like filling out the form. They're getting them at the source. Like they fill out the form for the thing, and then they'll ding dong, like knock on their business door and be like, "Sir, your business was not affected. Why did we just get this?" They're busting people
right
now.
You're making a great point though. Like everybody's out there trying to get money, especially while like catastrophes are happening, which is unfortunate that bad things are happening.
Yeah.
But there's a lot of demands,
and
it's
harder for you guys to get the stuff that you need for care packages. It's harder for you to find people that want to be allies, to participate, to do events. I mean, sure,
But it's like even just come out and give $1, or just go on and just give $1. Like if 1,000 people give $1, we've got $1,000.
Yeah.
Like right now, we're like even struggling to monetize at all, just because, like I was saying, like getting started, it's like the hardest thing. But then there's also so many competing demands against the money and the time and blah blah blah. So come out and give.
Well, I want to give it for free too. I want to be able to counsel people. I don't want to charge people for counseling.
Yeah.
I mean, we still have to make money though, and I have to pay for my license and my insurance and stuff. But I'd love to be able to just like Dan, if you need counseling, come sign up, free, no charge, no insurance. Like that's what I would love to be able to do with transitional space.
Absolutely,
You know what?
It's a nice goal. You got an idea of what you want to work towards.
You know what I think sometimes too when we have guests on and they're talking about the charity or raising money and stuff, like the listeners like, oh well, if Tom and Dan had them on, because we're so big and famous and
we're kind of a big
Orlando
deal.
superstars.
We're the superstars.
They're like, well, this company is gigantic. They'll get tens of thousands.
They're with the superstars now, so they're fine.
But like $10 donation moves the needle for you guys. Like because if enough people do that, then you raise a couple $1,000 and that's great.
Well, this guy knows he's a 1095 BDM for us, so he knows the power of $10.
Well, you make a great point. The BDM community is so strong. That's one of the reasons when we were talking, we had our first meeting in September, keeping our agenda like we're really legit.
Nice.
And trying to get on this show was a big priority for us because the BDM community is so strong, especially with what you guys have done with Yellow Brick Road. Like the BDMs show up and they'll show out and all that stuff.
We have one, I believe, in our chat room right now who has a daughter who is trans who is down for a package.
Hell yeah! Well, come out to Blaze and let's meet up.
Sam threw her all of the info, so maybe we can make that connection. But the people are out there.
I love the BDM community.
But I think you were saying this.
That's why I'm a walking billboard.
I think you were saying this earlier, Tom. They're like getting it to a point though where you don't have to feel like you have to hide or this. I don't know. I don't even know how that works. Maybe that's just time. I don't know. The more it's like we always say, like maybe the more you grind at everybody, normalizing and being good people, it just one day you wake up and you're like, wow, this does feel better.
It's weird. It's going in reverse almost too. Like when I first started my transition, it almost seemed like everybody was cool, even with playing sports and stuff. But then now it's like everybody has. Like Matt Walsh is popping up, Daily Wire, all those type of people.
Right. Well, then
so,
also, but that's a topic for a totally different show. But then you're taking the tendency for the economic and for the political tide to get involved into it, and that's a whole different argument. I'm just talking about humans being allowed to be who they want to be and have a smile on their face. I'm really simple human.
It's the most American
I'm an amoeba, man. I'm just smiles.
I'm an amoeba. I love that.
I'm just like that's fine. Smiles.
I love that.
I don't know where we got it. Like it's the most American thing I could think of is to be whatever you want to be, whoever you want to be as free as you ever want to be. Like that's why we live in America. I don't know why it's becoming like, well, don't do that. I don't like it, or like this is not. It's bizarre to me. Like I thought it was supposed to be we're free to do what we want as long as we don't hurt anybody else. That's what I believe in. That's what, I feel like most people believe it.
Yeah,
like
I think so
in
too.
their heart is like, don't you want everybody else to be happy if it has nothing to do with you?
Unfortunately, and I don't want to go down this road, but if you attach religion to it, or and the next thing you know,
it's very complicated.
Well, I'm sorry about my thought. I'm really sorry.
No, but then you're right. Then it gets super complicated.
Well, yeah, because everybody just wants to be divisive, and it's not me versus you, us versus them. It's just like you say all the time, Tom, be cool, bro. Like, let's just help everybody out,
Don't you want, I mean,
it's just that easy.
It's that easy. Like, it doesn't even matter if you understand the labels or not. Like, Dan and I were talking before the show. Like,
I don't want to mess them up. So sometimes we were talking about how dangerous it is if you're scared. And I was using me as an example because I think you and I this is us perfectly. It's like, we don't want to offend you. And we don't want to ever make you feel or anyone feel uncomfortable, especially with something as personal as like your pronouns or who
your
like,
identity.
Or who you. That's
right?
you, man. God damn, that doesn't get any crazier than that, right? So if I think I'm going to mess it up, and I think I can speak for most people that don't fully understand it, you'd probably just not say anything because you don't want to mess it up, which I think is wrong. Because if you don't say anything, then you're just taking someone and just like ignoring them,
right?
Or just choosing not to make them. Real in a weird way.
I appreciate the effort, though. I appreciate the, if somebody...
See, it's good to hear that.
Yeah,
I think people need to hear that. Yeah. Like, no, please try. It's like going to Germany and not trying to speak the language. Or, again, it's like, just give me an effort.
But it should be as easy if I make a mistake, correct me, and then now I will go with whatever the correction was forever now, based on... I don't care. But because also, I'm like, whatever, it's like, why is it so hard? But also, like, if I...
Probably the other conversation.
And like we've talked about, it's like you make a mistake. If it's genuinely a mistake, no one's going to be mad at them. You know, it's like, no, you're not going to be mad at me for making a mistake or anybody else.
Absolutely.
I've made mistakes, and I can tell you that I've made mistakes with people.
It's intent, right?
That's exactly what you and I were talking about.
There's a big difference between being uneducated, right? And then once you're educated, if you want to double down, it's like, well, we can ride that train and die on that hill if you want to.
You're just a bad person.
I don't think we should. Because, hey, just what is it that you're missing? How can I help you better understand? And, at the very bare minimum, right, we're just people looking for love.
Yeah.
That's it.
I didn't mean to make that super awkward.
No. But every time somebody says that exact phrase, I get an erection. I mean, an instant one, too.
Like, fully standing?
No, we can't go. You're titillating now.
Make your job harder? I'm sorry.
Let's plug. So if people want to get involved, and let's talk about the event first. Let's plug the event. Where's
Go
it
ahead,
at?
B.
Yeah, so Blaze Pizza, Winter Park. Can't remember the address, but it's the only Blaze in there.
Everybody knows what Blaze is. Yeah.
Just Blaze?
And you can order, they also do an online thing, too. If you order online and mention Transitional Space, we have a code, too, I think, on our Facebook. But they'll donate some of those profits back to us as well.
Okay, great.
So in person or online. And then we have our support groups every month, trauma support groups. So anybody's welcome to join. You don't have to share. You can just hang out and listen. But all those dates are on transitionalspace.info under the calendar.
There you go.
And then just check out like Facebook, right? Like you can see the group, like Sam was saying. We do have the Patreon. We have the dedicated website. We'd love to come out. Like I said, allies are totally welcome as well. It doesn't have to be just folks that are going pre or post transition, right? We're actually including anybody. Like, cool. I'm coming from my PHP group and I'm opening it up to them because, like I said, there is something to be said around people that can understand a struggle, right? And we can help each other, one person at a time kind of thing.
Indeed.
All right, I'm going to promote that in my Swamp Buggy group. I don't know if I go over that well.
Yeah, I was actually
I'll mention it. I'll be like, hey, the Blaze is doing the promotion.
I was actually sharing mine in my Confederate figurine group.
I shared it in my gun group. People.
While you guys are sitting around,
you know what? That's the thing we should talk about. Everybody loves guns. Doesn't matter.
That is true.
Brittany
is totally a come and take it type person, which you would not think of someone
You're
who's
the ultimate
trans
American.
to be that way.
I almost want them to try and take it.
Oh, yeah. You haven't been playing football, have you?
I hope
you got some pin-up anger.
That sounds like a coach versus a player.
You started to change my ghost pop-up's mind a little bit with the gun comment.
You know what? Tom, can I tell you something? Hold on, I'm not doing it right. Hey, Tom, I'm going to tell you, I like that Brittany.
No, we probably should look at having a meet up at like a gun range or something. That way you could show that we're all, hell yeah, it would.
It'd be fun as hell, and it's not like we don't have any of those. Or you could probably find a really nice person with a private one that would let you guys go out there and do it right, so you don't have to. So everybody be comfortable is what I'm saying.
Hey, Brett, you think you used to live by the TM Ranch? You think they'd be down?
Oh man, they don't do it anymore.
Do they not?
No, they shut everything
that breaks
down.
my heart, man.
They became more of a true, like a real ranch,
like a ranch. Versus,
and then they shut down the. I think, and I don't want to put words in their mouth, but from what I was told, that all the Hollands out there, they decided to just kind of, pull back a little bit, make it a little easier on them and enjoy the ranch and then, kind of let their kids do things.
It took I remember like even selling the land or whatever, it took millions of dollars just to skim the top layer of soil out because of so much like buckshot or whatever. Like,
my God,
the environmental undertaking that it was.
Like you're walking on nothing but buckshot.
Well, I think they make you do it right.
Yeah, because
you can't just get out there and just like, we're going to put all the metal into the earth.
Yeah. So they have to skim the top. Like it was huge. Like so that is probably is why you don't see more like clay shooting ranges because of that fact. Yeah. Like you're shooting thousands of pellets into the and then now you have to clean it.
It was one of those things that when Tom told me that, or like I figured the discussion, it was like years ago. But when I heard that, I was like, it's one of those things where your jaw drops and you're like, I have never thought about where the pellets go, cleaning them up, what are you going to do? I mean, and they actually kind of made me feel like...
I thought they disintegrated after a while.
I felt like guilty.
I guess they don't go back to the earth?
It was one of the only times I felt like legitimately mad at myself. I was like, how stupid are you? Why wouldn't you know that, you know?
You're like, they scatter out there. You can't even see them, but tens of millions of them eventually.
Yeah,
like,
meanwhile, I'm pushing a shopping cart into Lake Baldwin,
Where am I going to shoot my empty beer cans now?
A lot of BBs around here. Anyway,
thanks, guys. I really appreciate we really appreciate the time.
Anytime. We appreciate you guys coming in. Transitionalspace.info. Scroll to the bottom of the page and you can select an amount if you would like to donate. Good seeing you guys.
Yeah,
Thank you guys. And we got to get out of here. We'll come back and do like a little, like a tiny segment.
Yep.